Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twadwazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Mel's 24, Unamento, M Iron 26, Endless, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Cat, David Wayne Foster and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show. Right, I'm going to join politics. I reckon there's nobody in our server.
Sounds like fun.
Whole bunch of people in politics, but nobody's talking there either.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hello.
Hey, we were not long, just sort of quieting down a bit.
Oh, have I just missed the storm?
Yeah, maybe, kind of.
Oh, don't worry. I'm just getting things set up for my live show later, so very few people in Flat Earth Debate Discord, or nobody to be precise.
Oh, I guess he can't hear us.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay. Jolly good.
Yeah. Morning, Nathan and crew.
Morning.
I think these guys were just talking about celebrities in space when I hopped in.
William Shatner.
And more.
More now, yeah.
Untrained actors.
Katy
Untrained
Perry.
pilots.
It is so beautiful from up here.
What a ride.
Yeah, I mean, if they're actors, they're just being paid to act, so you can't really moan at them. If the gig is pretend it's real this time, then they're just going to go, yeah, okay, they're actors, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Shatner interview when he was asked about the difference between space, as in outer space, the sky vacuum 10 to the minus 17 tour, where NASA pretend to be, and space, the final frontier? And do you remember what his answer was? Did anybody see this?
Yeah, being about science fiction. So I remember right.
No. He was asked what the difference between science fiction and science fact was. Can you remember his answer, though?
Oh, yeah, they're the same thing. It's the same, yeah.
He said nothing. He said, what's the difference? Nothing. There's a man who knows. Now, the audience hears that and goes, oh, right, so when you're pretending to go to Mars or, a land far, far away on the Enterprise, that's the same as us going to a land far, far away like Mars. It's like, no, it's the same as us pretending to go to Mars, like he pretended to go to distant lands far, far away in the Enterprise. They're both pretending. That's how they're the same. What we're starting to realise on Flat Earth debate is that the anti-Flat Earthers / Globers are just the same as us in every respect, other than they're too embarrassed to admit that they're looking into the subject. So by virtue of them stumbling across the subject and looking into the subject and not wanting to be that guy that gets ridiculed by them, they go, this idiot flat earther thinks, and then they strawman us, stereotype us, because it's them that's actually thinking that. So a lot of what they pretend is arguments we've made is actually the stumblings of an idiot who's just come across the subject, toying with the idea mentally, and then projecting that out onto a third party that doesn't really exist, who he calls the flat earthers think. End quote. It'd be nice to a baller, you know, they're just like you, really. Other than they don't have any balls. And can't admit that they're looking into the subject.
Guess what, guys?
You go to bed.
Is it the Earth? Is it a globe? Is that what you want me to guess?
The ice wall is starting to melt.
What ice wall?
Yes.
Yeah, citation, if you would.
What ice wall?
Okay.
What ice wall are you talking about? Yeah.
Maybe the one in Alaska? There's one in Alaska.
No, the Arctic Circle ice wall.
How do you get a circle on the ball? How does that happen?
Are you dumb?
No, try to draw a circle on a three-dimensional sphere. You'll get an oval shape. So how'd you draw a circle on the sphere? How'd you do that?
Because it's not a sphere, dude.
It's not. Okay, good. Okay, welcome to Flat Earth.
Anyway, the fucking ice wall's melting.
Okay, back into the loop. What ice wall?
The Arctic fucking ice wall.
Okay, show it.
You don't know what you're trolling, dude.
No, we get lots of people that assert there's an ice wall, and they assert that it, like we've asserted it, and then they suggest, because they want to believe or discredit, whichever it may be, this idea of a 75,000-mile ice wall that's the perimeter of our world as represented on an azimuthal equidistant globe-centric projection. That's what ice wall we're challenging you to suggest, or to prove if you suggest it, rather. You cite it if you're suggesting it, because you're the only one saying it. I don't say it, Crit doesn't say it. If you're saying it, the ice wall's melting, what ice wall is what's being asked of you repeatedly?
The one that's surrounding the Earth that we know, not the outside of Earth.
We don't know that. Do you know that? If you know that, can you show that to us? Because we aren't you. But you're the one saying it.
Bro, here's the thing. So, all the government are coming out with all these advertisement and campaigns to stop so-called global warming. They say all the animals are going to die, this and that. It's not true. What's true is the ice wall's melting, and they're worried we're going to be able to fucking find out what's on the other side of it.
Yeah, we heard your claim.
That's what they're worried about,
We heard it. We heard it 3 times. I heard your claim. So did Crit. So did everyone around you. But that's just a baseless assertion unless you can back it. Do you know what a baseless assertion is?
No, what's that mean?
It means you just put your words. I can say, I am the world's greatest lover. And then I can say that the government's trying to suppress me because I'd just be breeding the world into Nathy existence only because I'm such a good lover. And then you go, well, how do you prove that? Have you got anything that could demonstrate and prove it? And I go, because the government's trying to shut me down because I'm the greatest lover ever. But it doesn't prove it. It's just a baseless assertion. That's what you've got currently for this ice wall, a baseless assertion. Just meaningless unless you cite something to prove it.
Well, when I actually travel there and get footage, you're going to find out. So
yeah, it's called an appeal to the future fallacy. When you go there, what in the future, to cite this that you're making up by baseless assertion, that's an appeal to the future fallacy.
It's just a hypothesis at the moment, but I'm going to prove
it's not
it
a
correct.
Hypothesis either.
Right.
Hypothesis is a scientific prediction, establishes cause of effect. Ice wall is a concrete noun. It's not going to have a cause and effect, so it can't have a hypothesis to establish if and then. It's not a natural phenomena, so it's definitely not a hypothesis. Are we done? This is nonsense. Why are you waffling nonsense is my only question to you now that we've had your nonsense and it's been asserted 3 times by basis assertion. Why are you not waffling nonsense?
You say a lot of nothing.
Now I'm asking you why you waffle nonsense. You've waffled nonsense without citation about ice walls by baseless assertion. Then you've appealed to the future. That's a fallacy. Now you're talking through me summarising. Now you're talking through me summarising what you've done.
This is like very entry level, like low hanging fruit. Anybody, if you want, you can just go Google about the ice wall. I don't need to provide it to you. It's very open that you can find.
You're being heckled from the sidelines now, being called a dumbass from the sidelines because you haven't backed anything, and you're just telling us to go do your research for you because you've made a baseless assertion that you can't back. So I've got to go and Google it for you. No, I'm good, Tar. I'm good.
I've done my research. I already know what's true.
Do you want to show us that research? That's what we were asking for when we said, can you cite that about 5 minutes ago, mate? And then you repeated it twice and then made a baseless assertion and appeal to the future fallacy. I keep summarising what you have done and you're being heckled from the sidelines to sit down and shut up.
I'm just asking you because I'm too lazy. Can you do it, please?
Don't. That's an ad hominem attack. I'm not too lazy to do anything. I've done 10 years of research in this subject. That's why I'm taking a giant steaming dump on an idiot that's done none. You're claiming you've done research. I've been here 10 years. Doing research on this subject.
Yeah, you don't know.
I know exactly what I'm doing. That's why I'm taking a dump on what you're doing. You haven't done anything. You think you have. You're just being called out as an idiot that hasn't done any research. Don't tell me what you've done. I've been here 10 years researching. Idiots like you assert they've got an ice wall. And no, you haven't. You haven't got any evidence of that. You won't produce it either. That's why you're stumbling and telling me I haven't done any research. 10 years of research means I can shut this down. And all you can do while I shut your idiocy down is talk through me. You haven't got an ice wall to prove. Grit knew it. I knew it. Everyone on the panel knew it. I'm just verbalising it for my audience's amusement at this point with you chatting shit through the top of me because you're squirming in defeat because you haven't got anything to cite your nonsense you were waffling.
I posted it in the side chat, bro. It's a fucking ice wall cunt. And you
want to swear through the top of me and call me a cunt through the top of me? Is that what you got to swear at me in frustration at your irritation of your own ignorance? Shut up and sit down, you ignorant idiot.
I said I posted it in the side chat and you're choosing to be ignorant, which means you're arrogant.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What have you posted?
Anyway.
What have you posted?
The ice wall, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
So you don't need to swear at me in irritation, right? I know it won't be a 74,000 mile demonstration by you. I already know this will be a complete failure before I've looked at it, but I'm just toying with you. You can get irritated if you like and swear at me, but it doesn't alter that what I know will be coming my way shortly, because someone will hopefully pass it on to me, will not be evidence of a 74,000 mile circumference ice wall. You know it already. I know it already, right?
There's obviously gaps in the ice wall because it's melted a little.
There's gaps in your brain. There's gaps in your brain. Obviously.
Well,
you haven't done any research.
There's actually 3
So you felt the need to talk this through me, tell me that I hadn't done any research through the top of me. Now I'm doing it back to you, dumbass. Yeah? Did you feel justified talking through the top of me and swearing at me and calling me a cunt through the top of me, telling me I hadn't done any research? Yeah, wanker, you haven't done any research. There's obviously gaps in your brain.
Well, there's actually 3 gates around the ice wall you can get out of.
Oh, truly. You're going to show us those? Are they in the evidence you posted in the side chat? Were those gates there? And a 74,000 mile circumference demonstration, or is it just you talking while I'm talking? And by you talking through me, it doesn't alter the fact that I'm taking a giant steaming dump on your nonsense waffle that you haven't proven. And I'm asking, why are you waffling nonsense?
There's actually gates, bro.
So he did this last time. What, you make the same baseless assertion 3 times and then a couple of fallacies to follow it up with? Why are you waffling nonsense that you're never going to cite back or do anything that provides an evidentiary standard for? Why? Second time.
Are you familiar with Leviathan's Gate or the Serpent's Gate?
Show me a picture of it. Did that put a very swift end to this conversation? It's almost like I've heard other tossers just like you talking the same shite. Almost, because I shut you down with one question, didn't I? So no picture of this garbage you're about to waffle shite about. right? No picture.
It's in the side shot.
You put a picture of it.
It's in
Okay.
the side shot.
So is this the first picture he sent? No, this is not 74,000 miles. At best, this is about a kilometre. Tops. That's what I've seen. This is the picture you've sent me. And is this what he sent me as well? These are cartoons. It's laps.
Ah, that's the gate. That's one of the 4 gates, bro.
Gates. Right, the first picture you sent of an ice wall is tops 1 kilometre. Do you want to deal with that first? It's a far cry from being 74,000 miles in this picture. That's the first problem.
Miles are a made up like freedom unit bullshit distraction. I don't want to talk about that.
No, I'm talking about the extent of it encompassing the entire known world, and this picture not really doing that in any way standard that is going to let me think, yeah, this guy's right. When he says ice wall surrounding the whole of the world, this doesn't do it for me, mate. This is garbage.
Well, can you explain to me how there's not any video footage of any Arctic global circumference?
No, I'm not going to be explaining anything. We need to find out why your nonsense waffle's happening, right? This isn't 74,000 miles in circumference. It doesn't encompass the known world as you have claimed. By nonsense waffle, this does not cut it.
There's no footage of
you don't need to talk through me. Yeah, your embarrassment, your defeat isn't call for you to talk through me. Sir, this isn't you winning. This isn't you winning. This is you losing badly. I'll try again. What you've provided.
Dude, you'll find it.
Is this you winning? Is this you winning? Just talking while I'm talking. Is that you winning? Try a third time.
You'll find it.
Yeah, he's just going to do it a third time. Every time I take a giant steaming shit on his nonsense. Yeah, I've got it up for an audience to assess and laugh at you about. We'll be laughing at you for this shite that I've put on screen for an audience. And I'm asking, based on this shit, that is not... Oh, just the fourth interruption, sir. Just the fourth interruption. Is it that embarrassing for you that it's got to be interrupted 4 times while I ask you why you've waffled this shit, sir? 4th interruption. Maybe a 5th. Why are you waffling this shit? This doesn't encompass the known world.
I find the other side of the ice wall.
What ice wall? This is not an ice wall proof, dickhead. I'm asking you why this picture doesn't back your 74,000 mile circumference ice wall surrounding the known world, and you keep interrupting me 5 times. This is not proving that, dum-dum. Hello?
I never said it's 74 miles.
So are you drunk?
I think it's actually way smaller than that.
Well, then you're a dumbass.
At the end of the day,
I don't want to hear your conclusion. You don't get to make one. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. Nobody wanted to hear your conclusion after that pause. Nobody called for the dumbass who doesn't know anything to make a conclusion. Nobody asked you. You dumbass. I'll make a conclusion, you utter retard. There is no 74,000 mile in circumference ice wall surrounding the known territories. Based on this picture, we've got, what, a mile of proof from you? No, this doesn't prove there's an ice wall you're going to babble about in conclusion, dum-dum. What you do is you make a baseless assertion. I ask you why you're making baseless assertions. You say, oh, I've posted evidence in the side chat. This is not that. So evidence is proof. You haven't proved an ice wall. What you've managed to do is talk through me taking a giant steaming shit on your moronic garbage that you've waffled and attempted to obfuscate by talking through me. Now, dumbass, sit down and shut the fuck up, you stupid retard. Do I make myself clear? Spastic. Ice wall, retard.
You'll be sad when I find it first.
Shut up, retard.
You'll be upset when I find out the truth before you.
Oh, are you? You found out the truth. You're going to go on a little voyage, are you, my friend? I've told you to shut up because you're an idiot and you don't have anything to offer us. Me, with my 10 years of experience in the subject, I don't need to hear from you talking through me when I take a giant dump on your garbage that you've waffled and not proved. Like a lot of other idiot, flat earther nonsense wafflers. They feel that they can talk crap, and then when somebody like me challenges them on their baseless assertions, complete nonsense waffle, and fallacious garbage that backs it, they think they can talk through me. No, what you're having happen to you, mate, is you're being put in your place as a dumbass. Now shut up! You're a dumbass. You've got nothing to offer the room. Shut up.
Just because you are incapable of understanding or comprehending
ad hominem fallacy.
Yo,
dumbass, that's an ad hom fallacy. What I did was took apart your crap had to look at your standards of evidence, which were woeful, and then called you a dumbass. Me, I'm not demonstrating stupidity. You are.
Yeah, he's
Well,
done,
how about you
Nathan.
add
Move
me?
on.
If I go
Next.
there, I'll send you a photo.
Yeah, if you go to there, that's a appeal to the future fallacy that you've already utilised and have already ripped apart, you stupid retard. Sit down and shut up. Part of that, don't you understand? Good lad.
You know, I'm actually trying to
Good
help
lad,
you.
good lad. Oh, no,
I'm
he's
trying to
not.
help
He's too
you,
stupid to realise when he's done. Cooked but can't realise
I'm
it.
just trying to help
Definition
you
of
guys
Dunning-Kruger.
understand
Doesn't know
too.
when to shut up. You don't realise how stupid you've been, so you keep waffling. You think you're going to redeem yourself, do you, you dickhead? Okay, off you go. Let's hear what you got to say, retard. On you go.
Well, I suppose you think we live like on a sphere. I
Don't
bet
tell
you
me
do,
what I
cunt.
suppose I think. Yeah, you're not my bloody mind reader, idiot.
Well, you sound like you like a globe.
Don't tell me what I
so
sound
shut
like
up.
either. That's going to be an ad hominem fallacy. Retard. Are you incapable of actually holding a normal conversation where you make some assertions that you've got some standards of evidence to back? Telling me
All
what
you
I'm going to
do
do
is
or what
talk
I think
about
isn't
it.
that,
I just say
dickhead.
claims.
Dickhead. Talking through me isn't that either, dickhead. You've got nothing to offer. When are you going to accept that?
Well, you can't, dude. You can't prove religion. You can't prove God's real. till
Didn't
you
say I was
die, so,
going
like, you're not
to.
gonna
I
know.
asked you to
Holy
prove your ice
shit.
wall, you stupid dumbass.
Yeah, when I go there, I'll show you.
Yeah, that's an appeal to the future fallacy. Third time you've used it, you complete retard. Are you cooked? Yes, you are. It's just us waiting for you to sit down and realise that. Unfortunately, we're dealing with somebody who's completely Dunning-Kruger and doesn't realise how stupid he is. You think you need to appeal to the future a fourth time, retard? Go on, tell me when you go there in the future, you'll get the evidence that you haven't given us. You belligerent retard.
Dude, you don't even fucking understand.
Really? Is that why I so easily took apart your nonsense waffle? Really? It's because I don't understand. I do. I understand retards. You. I understand you. You're a retard. I understand you. That's how I took a giant shit on what you said. And summarised it multiple times. And then described the fallacies you used in detail. Specifically by using the words you used as examples of the fallacies a retard, that's you, used. Do you want to tell me I don't
Can you
understand
please
again?
refer
Or maybe
to
just
the side
interrupt me at
chat?
the conclusion. Maybe if you interrupt at the conclusion of me summarising what a spastic you are and how intellectually superior I am to you, maybe you'll win if you just interrupt me like a spastic. No. I do understand
Please,
spastics, that's you, and every time I tell you a response to your last statement, you feel the need to interrupt. Because
Can you
of
please-
the summary. Because you are a spastic. I'm not done talking. You can hear that, but you're still flapping your gums in the middle of it because it's demonstrating by my words and actions what kind of retard you are. You may speak, retard.
Can you please refer to the side chat instead of yapping?
I've got a whole team of people providing me what you put in the side chat, my friend. Did you not realise that?
Yeah, there's an ice wall, bro. So shut the fuck up.
No, an ice wall, bro. No, you haven't proven an ice wall encompassing the world
Well,
we
what
live.
is that? What is?
That's a picture, you dumb bastard.
Picture of some ice. We've already dealt with this. We've dealt with this. You just didn't acknowledge it. You were too dumb to listen to the responses I gave you. You're too busy ad homing me and appealing to the future. We've already dealt with your evidence, mate. It's woeful.
Nathan, you can't blame him. He's in fear that the ice wall's going to melt and he's going to die.
The global warming. Yeah, retard. You're no different to anybody else. Most people are as dumb as you. They think they're smart and they're not. And when they're proven to be stupid, they want to attack the person that's demonstrated how stupid they are. Me in this instance. You want to attack me. Tell me I don't understand. Yeah, I do. I understood you, didn't I, son? And then I called you a spastic for my comprehension of just how stupid you were. That happened. Don't have to like it.
Yeah, but you don't start out calling them stupid. You're trying to educate them. And then when they show their belligerence, then you got to just call them stupid.
Well, I don't mind being educated by him. He's the one telling us we got a flipping ice wall. It's like, okay, prove it. Show me. Give me evidence. Oh, well, I could go there in the future to prove my crap that I spouted. No, you're poison, mate. You're absolute poison to everyone around you. Making up shit as you go along and not backing it. When someone comes along and calls you on it, you start swearing at them. You're utter poison. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my own server. It was fun. I'm glad we got a pre-show out of the politics server. See you on Friday. Thanks for having us.
That's kind of rude. You eat and leave?
Yep.
Let's get it on. You warmed up.
Warmed up. Yes, I suppose we are. We were in the politics server for the pre-show. Thank you very much to the politics server. No link to them as we're in our own server for today, but we will be back in there on Friday, as is always the case. And there has been a few links that have been shared with me. Hopefully Liam will join and point me in the right direction of what he wants us to cover for today's show. But in the meantime, we're going to do a bit of housekeeping for those of you in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. I know I've only just literally joined in the last couple of minutes, but hello to you all. Let's get a sound check from our own server. Not something.
Hello.
Hello, Daz. Thank you for that. Not something I normally do right at the beginning of a live show, but in this instance, necessary because we were someone else. There was no one here when I first joined the server earlier when we were starting the pre-show. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping questions. Neil, any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That's a negative. P waves and S waves, that's it.
P waves and S waves.
In other words, they're a sonogram, you know, like they do with women when they're pregnant. They give them a sonogram and they can check for all body parts. Everything is copacetic. Well, they do that with Earth, too. That's what they tell me.
Yeah, but they're referencing it as a horizontal plane. They're showing deviations on a graph.
Oh, dear.
A plane. So, yeah, the ground is moving in a horizontal orientation, and they can measure that. But as a plane.
So you're telling me that that becomes a flat Earth proof?
No, because it's not taking something that's ambiguous and bringing it into lucidity. It's not taking something that's unknown and bringing it into the light. It's a prerequisite for the measurement. It's almost like it goes without saying. Now, because it almost goes without saying, the globers take it that it can go without saying that Earth is being measured flat. But it is being measured flat. And almost going without saying doesn't mean that I can't say it, and I will say it. What's it? Earth's flat, it's measured flat. Seismology measures Earth flat. In fact, any measurement of Earth is flat because Earth is flat. If you're in the audience and you're unaware that Earth is flat, go and look at any measurement of Earth ever, and it will be obvious immediately because Earth is flat, and that's precisely how it's measured in all instances, without exception. Any evidence of a sky vacuum? Well, gas pressure without a container. Somebody did ask me
Well,
to...
Katy Perry, hold on. Katy Perry just went to space. She went there, Nathan.
Katy Perry's claimed to have gone to space. How old's Katy Perry now? She's got to be edging up to her 40s, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but it seems kind of weird. First, Neil deGrasse made sure that she understood everything, and now I guess it's confirmed. You need to go that extra step.
Into the sky vacuum. I mean, fair enough. Did they just send her up high? Because cool. I mean, if Katy Perry's gone up high in the sky, maybe she's a firework. Anyway, we've got these action figures. I don't know who put these in Master B, but I absolutely love these. So, oh, wrong button. We've got the Flat Earth action figure, who looks like he's a character that was played by Tom Cruise and then later played in a TV series. Is it Reacher? Jack Reacher? Do you know who I'm talking about? Anybody?
Yeah, I watched that whole show. The last one was really good.
I've not seen the show, but I know the premise, and I know that Tom Cruise appeared as that character. Now, from my understanding, the Jack Reacher character that I think this guy looks like is more like the TV series, the more recent one. And the guy's a monster of a man, right? He's massive. So he's probably 6'5". He's
it's like He-Man.
Yeah, he's broad
He's a
as
beast.
hell, massive and super imposing. And he occasionally comes up on shorts clips. So there's like one shorts clip where he goes up to a cash machine and he's standing behind some woman who looks like she's trembling. And he says, "Don't turn around." He says, "Are you being robbed?" And she says, "Yeah, my kid's still in the car. The guy's in the car." He goes, "No worries." He just toddles over the car, smashes the window, and beats the guy after death through the car window. You're like, oh, okay, I see how this is going to be. It seems like a good series. But nevertheless, this is the Flat Earth action figure. Whoever's produced this, cool on you. There is actually a different one that was also produced along the same sort of lines, or a similar sort of lines, which is the Globe Earth action figure. And that looks like this. This is Glober. He's got himself a little pendulum and a globe and a smiley emoji. Yeah. And he's got his science textbook. And he looks a bit like fatter version of Bill Gates. Very nice indeed. That's hilarious, says Jason. Yeah, it is. I completely agree. Yeah, I love things like that. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say, I'm Jack Reacher in terms of the metaphorical equivalent, but the narcissistic vein that does run through my blood and everybody's to a certain extent, I do tell myself I look like this. I'm that very imposing Jack Reacher. I would be reaching through the car window after smashing it with my bare hands like Terminator. I am that guy. I'm not at all. But it's interesting that we've been portrayed that way. Now, what is obviously the general gist of what he's being portrayed as is the theodolite in the camera, right? So he's got a Nikon P900 or something equivalent to it. I can't quite read. Just gonna lean forward and see what it says on his textbook. Give me a sec. Advanced trigonometry textbook. Advanced trig. It's that spherical trig. And that's the look on his face, that groan. Who gave us these? Anybody know who these came from? No? Fair enough.
I don't know, but before you move on, I want to stay on gas pressure without a container.
Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
The funny thing is, this sports show that I listened to in the morning, they were talking about Katy Perry's supposed trip to Narnia. And the guy actually said she didn't go anywhere. She went on some sort of Disney ride. She can't go there. So, like, the world, they do know that something is wrong. Something's not, what I'm saying, adding up. And these are guys that they're regulars, But it was interesting that he said that.
Said what?
That she didn't go anywhere. She went on some sort of Disney ride because she can't go to where they're claiming she went. Now, how does he know that?
They don't. I said earlier, it's like if Katy Perry's been sent up high, there are vehicles that are beyond the public's access that can take you high. And I'm not going to deny the access to high skies that Katy Perry may have experienced. I mean, good for her. And getting in on that bit of propaganda, that's why I laugh so hard. I'm like, okay, I mean, that's one way to make yourself relevant in amidst talk of Russell Brand and pedos and child abusers and rapists. Those are the people that are going through the mill. Katy Perry was amongst that crowd. So what's she doing? You're going to space, are you, girl? Good for you. Good for you. I mean, more power to you. If they've sent you up high and you've come down and gone, oh, wow, I'm an astronaut. Or I don't know what she said when she's been interviewed on return, right? What did she say? Did she have anything insightful to say? No?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
She didn't burst into song. Baby, I'm a fire. No, she didn't burst into fireworks. No? Okay, well. I'm sure if it's actually worthy of my time, it'll... Go on.
Did you mention Russell Brand?
Russell Brand, yeah. He's
He's got
been
to be
arrested.
very careful. Got to be careful because he just met with a very prominent Christian singer, new guy, Brandon Lake, and he actually requested that they took communion first. So I hope this guy's on the up and up because
Who? Russell
what it says
Brand?
in the Bible.
Russell Brand, ex-heroin addict, sex addict Russell Brand. Oh, I
Yes.
love this. This is awesome.
Let me
Russell Brand
finish.
is
Let me
represented.
finish first.
Oh, I say, okay,
Because
go
it's
ahead.
important. Because if you read the Bible and you read what it says, if you drink that cup and eat that bread unworthily, oh my goodness. So I hope I hope he really did give his life over to God.
Yeah, whatever. I was going to say, he, to me, is archetypical of the people that used to go up to the front of the evangelical churches that I was dragged along to as a kid. And there'd always be someone like Russell Brand with his story, and they'd always have the same message, right? And I remember my brother and I talking about them afterwards, and my brother going, what the hell? Like, don't do what I've done, which is go out and party, have lots of sex, do loads of drugs. Sounds like loads of fun. And he's standing at the front of this church saying, I used to sleep with all the girls, do all the drugs, go to all the parties, and basically be wild and crazy. But don't do that now. Don't you do that. Don't do as I have done. You should do what I've done in the aftermath and find Jesus like I've done. You listening to me, kids? That's what Russell Brand is doing now.
Yeah, but you're taking a piss out of things. Hold on. I've done that too. And when I've done it in front of churches, I'm trying to spare people going down the road. It was not a good road I went down.
Yeah, I'm sure it went.
It may started out brilliant and fun, but it didn't end up that way. It ended up me sleeping in hovels.
Yes, I've heard the story, Neil. I've heard it dozens and dozens of times from people at the front of the church. And you're one of them, are you, Neil? Yeah, shocking.
I'm not saying a lot of them are not legit. I understand that.
I'm not saying they're not legit.
Some.
No. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. That's not what I am saying. I did not say that, right? What I did say was, when I remember discussing it with my brother, his sentiment was to me was, oh yeah, so you're going to tell me don't go out and experience all of these experiences. Well, what experiences are those? Well, they're the experiences like the sex, drugs, and rock and roll that I have experienced, but you definitely should. You're like, well, tell me about one of the stories. Well, there was this one time when everyone got dressed up as furry animals and we all got locked in on this bar. And generally, there was a lot of... You get the general idea, right? But when you're stood at the front of the church, there's going to be a lot of stories that you wouldn't necessarily find appropriate for the church, right, Neil? But everyone in the church knows that you've been a dirty drug-taking fornicator, and that you're suggesting that after being a dirty drug-taking fornicator, that you, the people who haven't experienced life fully, me as a child in this instance, shouldn't also endeavour to experience any of those sins, right, Neil?
Well, it's not that... Listen, the Bible's clear. It says Moses, instead of enjoying the pleasure of sin for a season, he went into bondage with the children of Israel. There is pleasure in sin, fleshly, but you're trying to reach people because you may not luck out. I lucked out. You may go on your little partying spree and freaking wind up dead. So when I go up to give my testimony, do's and do nots, it's to avoid that because there was many young guys I knew. Actually, all my friends died. So that's what I try to avoid. But
anyway,
hey, you think you're missing something?
I'm not suggesting that. I'm not
crazy.
suggesting it's not serious. I'm not trying to demean it. I'm just saying that Russell Brand specifically is representative of all of those memories of those guys at the front of the church saying, do as I say, not as I did, past tense. I had the parties, I had the sex, I had the drugs, Don't you do as I did, kids. Don't go out and party. Don't go and sleep with loads of girls. Don't take lots of drugs till late in the morning and party. Don't do that. It's just, you're not obviously picking up what I'm trying to put down. Shout out to Duncan McLeod. He says, Katy Perry's logo on her spacesuit is an upside-down Baphomet. Is that so? Maybe someone can send me an image. I'll stick it up if someone sends me one, Duncan. Thank you for the super chat. I am definitely not Mr. Current Affairs. Now, while I was vaguely aware of something that had someone who looked vaguely familiar to me, I now know that was Katy Perry, and I now know that that was alleged to be a space return. But what I have been fed up until now, I don't want to pretend that I had absolutely no clue about this. It's just, if someone said, did you know that? I'd be like, no, I didn't. But what I saw was somebody come away from a shoreline and talk to a camera in a jumpsuit that was Katy Perry, and there was a couple of others. There was a black woman that did it first. And the black woman was a little bit hesitant to accept and acknowledge her being an astronaut. So in the clip that I saw, she was like, oh, no, I wouldn't necessarily accept that accolade, or something like that. But, and then blah, 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 or I've done this, that, and the other, was what I saw in the clip. But I didn't see any evidence of a sky vacuum or, trip to that area claimed to be the alleged violation of said second law of thermodynamics that we detail on a regular basis. So, what I did see is the same thing you get out of the cartoons when they take the piss out of this stuff. You get someone dropping a capsule into some water and then somebody going up to camera going, yeah, I've just come back from space. With an imitation version of Kubrick with the clapperboard. Good afternoon, John. How come you've got a different colour scheme? Making alterations to our G+, and you're a different colour to everyone else. As colourblind as I am, I can still see that there's a different colour to refracted curvature. Reflected. So yeah, okay, thank you for the super chat, Duncan. Where were we? What were we talking about, Neil? Oh yeah, Russell Brand. Why were we talking about Russell Brand?
About his wife.
Well, because he took communion. If he did unworthily, he's in for some deep shit.
Oh,
That's all I got to say.
No, Sasha's reminding me. Because in the midst of the P. Diddy nonsense, which is associated to Russell Brand and Russell Brand's most recent arrest, Katy Perry is disassociating herself through space association, cleansing her wrongdoing by associating herself with the heliocentric paradigm. It's like going to the church. There was the connection, I just never made it, right? Katy Perry is appealing to the church of equivalence in Scientology terms with heliocentrism. Same religion as heliocentrism when you talk about Scientology. And Russell Brand is appealing to Christianity. But there's no real difference. Go on.
I have a book. I bought a book from Russell Brand years ago.
My Bookie Wookie?
Revolution. I like him when he was really, really, really young. But after that, he became the mainstream product, and that's
Totally agree. I liked him and actually copy some of his stuff. When people say, don't talk about teabagging and how do my you-know-what's taste, I got that from Russell Brand when he used to do Big Brother's Little Brother on Channel 4 when I was a kid. So he used to be the host for the after show, which is also where I got that title from, the after show for Channel 4's Big Brother when it first came out. So when it was on British television and it was very, very dull with Nasty Nick and various other original characters from the Big Brother series, that was the originator of that 24/7 reality TV. And Russell Brand discussed the after show. So you saw the edited show that lasted an hour on Channel 4, Big Brother, and then the after show till 11:30 p.m. was Russell Brand talking about his ball bags. Sound familiar? Yeah, well, like Sasha just said, I liked him back in those days. I found him very funny, and then very quickly became an arrogant tossbag, and I lost all interest as soon as the 2000s
Not only
came.
funny, Nathan, he was going in English towns to interview all these, let's say, nationalistic, fascistic groups, without any. I was so surprised how he did that, because people were attacking him with the verse, everything, but he was politically he was like and he was like 18, something like that, really, really young.
Yeah, just a Jamo in the chat. He says, but Brand has opened his life to God. Yeah, it reminds me of the scene from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Where the guy sees all of the Christians baptizing in the river and they're calling to others to be baptized. And he sprints down the bank into the river, up to the priest. The priest dunks him in the water, and he comes out and talks to the other felons, convicted felons who are on the run, and says, my sins have been resolved. And the other convict says to him, well, that might be true in the eyes of God, but it's not true in the eyes of the state of Michigan or wherever they are. In other words, yeah, you can look at yourself as being absolved by God, and maybe he is saved. I don't know if he's given his heart to Jesus or not. It's not really relevant. He's currently under arrest for rape. So, I mean, innocent until proven guilty still stands. But by the same token, regardless of his affiliation currently with God, his last TikTok video before being arrested was him saying about him, and his Christian family who are on looking as he's making his video about the allegations he's suffering, about his past when he was that drug using, let's get it right, don't want to get sued, drug using sex addict. So not even allegedly, these are by his own admission. He's like, oh, well, I used to be a really bad person, but I found God now. Like, Scroovy.
Nathan, God does not want those that have it all together. They're too prideful. He wants the dregs of society. So he can stand there and say, look at the masterpiece that I've made.
May square with the Lord, but the state of Mississippi is another matter, son.
Yes,
right.
the one. That's the one.
You got to do your time. If you do the crime, you got to do your time. There's no doubt about it. That's how you know real Christians. Whatever I did, I deserve what I'm getting for this. I'll pay my debt to society. But in the eyes of God, you're cleansed.
He says, the Lord has forgiven me of my sins, including that Piggly Wiggly I locked over back in October. And he's like, you said you was innocent of those crimes. He says, it don't matter, God forgive me anyway.
Yeah, but there was so many. When I first came to the Lord, I had to start saying, Lord, forgive me for the ones that I don't remember. Because I'm trying to go through the list. And a few of them may have got by. So forgive me of any sins of omission or commission. I'm covered.
I don't know. I was looking to be covered, right? I know I'm a sinner. I don't need to declare my allegiance to God in light of the horrible sins I've committed,
you have
like
to be
Russell
covered.
Brand has done. That's what I'm trying to get at.
You have to be covered for redemption. If you're not covered, if you don't have that blood of the Passover lamb, Jesus, on the doorpost of your heart, then you ain't covered. I don't care what anybody tells you. According to Scripture, you're not covered.
Okay, well, that's good to know. It doesn't change my mocking of Russell Brand and his past digressions. Especially as Katy Perry's in the news in space.
The flat earth.
Good.
What's that got to do with flat earth?
Katy Perry's gone to space, according to her.
Well, how?
What are you running from, John?
Okay,
You're a little afraid?
No, there you go. No. They were obviously associated.
What?
Katy Perry and Russell Brand were associated with one another. Katy Perry's gone one religious route, which is heliocentrism, and saying she's gone to the space vacuum. And the other extreme of a different religious sect is the Christianity route that's being utilised by Russell Brand. Anyway, was there a video we wanted to cover? We're halfway through the show, and I haven't actually got anything lined up. Somebody's shared with me a higher side chat about Jaron Campanella. I don't know if I really care. I'm actually quite pleased with the current set of circumstances that have befallen Jaron. He's not our problem anymore. So whoever shared with me the higher side chat about Jaron's departure, who cares? He's the Glober's issue now. I only cared, in fact, I lost sleep over it, when he was on our side. Now he's not on our side. Great. Couldn't be more pleased in some ways. You know, he's no longer be of detriment to us on our side.
They'll march him out every time they want to talk about how flat Earth is stupid and how people are deceived. They're still going to use him, just like when they used him for behind the curve, for the final experiment. Useful idiots never lose their usefulness.
Yeah, completely agree. They'll roll him out whenever is necessary. Last I heard, Jaron was in patting himself on his own back for getting a mention on Joe Rogan's show. Like, yeah, good for you. Well done. That's what it comes down to for Jaron. For me, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's accepted now. Now he's accepted. Well done, Jaron.
exactly. If that's what you're looking for, then fair enough. If acceptance is on your agenda, acceptance from total strangers like Joe Rogan, who have popularity on their side, then if that's what you're after, then fair enough.
Yeah, but it ain't acceptance. He may think it is, but they look down on him.
Yep. And you know what, Nathan? We tried to help him. You tried specifically many a time to try and help that man.
Well, it's selfish endeavours for me trying to help him. I saw him as a detriment to the community I was a part of. Now I recognise the greater, wider picture of that community being numptyville for the most part. Flat eartherism is to be that numpty. It's preordained in that way. So, I mean, I don't mind calling myself a flat earther. I know Earth's flat. But that's the extent of the involvement that we really need to engage in, because the rest of it's numpty nonsense about people and their beliefs. Might be beliefs in a flat earth, might be beliefs in a globe. It's just not reality, and it's not in anything to do in any way to do with us, because it's not this contentious version of the world that needs arguing about that we endeavour to expose to an audience. We endeavour to expose the basic reality to our audience. Earth's just a flat plane. That's just how it's dealt with and measured always. That ain't really contentious when you actually break it down to its basic principles. If I start associating it with my ice wall claim, like in the pre-show in Discord Politics, then I've got an issue, because I've got to then justify a baseless assertion I'm making with garbage standards of evidence. When it comes to me justifying the absolute axiomatic fact of Earth being flat, that's actually pretty easy. So as time has progressed over the 10 years of us doing this, the standards become easier. As long as you know where not to tread. Don't tread in that pile of crap that you can't prove, just because it's potentially going to help next man along in his cognitive battle. You can't prove it. Now, if it leaves someone in a cognitive struggle because Earth's measured flat, that's not your problem. Talking to the audience at large. So stick to the facts. You won't go far wrong. I don't go far wrong. I will lose any sleep over it. And I've mentioned it several times last week that still hearing reports of Craig having struggles mentally. I don't know where. Has anybody actually confirmed any of these, what I call rumours? Because they're coming from commenters saying, Fight the Flat Earth's having mental breakdown. I do not say that. That's just me repeating what people have stated to me. And I'm like, okay, I've seen it before with Miles Davis and various others who've struggled cognitively through their globe Earth belief in the face of us laughing at it and calling it stupid, and then dealing with abrasive, nasty, horrible behaviour from them towards us as individuals, not subject-related. But the actual subject-related stresses and woes do get to a lot of globers over a period. And it seems like Craig's now falling victim to that. Has anybody confirmed this, or is it just the rumour mill? Is there any truth to the rumours? Anybody know?
Who cares?
I don't
care.
know.
Let me just, before you answer, John, sorry. I care, right? There's been maybe once with this particular individual, Craig McNeil, right, that I've reached out to him. I can't remember what the instance was, but there was something unrelated to the subject that I can't remember what happened to him, but I reached out to him and asked if he was okay for something. I can't remember what it was. It's a while back. But this would be another instance. I do not have any desire for anybody in an associated subject, that's either YouTube or Flat Earth, to suffer as a result of the subject, right? I easily have, people call me narcissistic and all this garbage.
God.
I do have plenty of empathy for even my opponent in this instance when it comes to their mental health. Why wouldn't I? He's just another dude. So in that
Did he
respect,
have empathy for that woman he beat?
doesn't matter, doesn't have bearing on this. He's just next man, next YouTuber.
Well, from what I seen during the final excrement, he was obsessed with you and guns to the point that he was losing his ability to like formulate sentences.
Oh, like that skit yesterday where they want us to be complete drongos, suggesting that the penguins are going to prevent them going to Antarctica because we say it doesn't exist, or something along those lines. And because we're not that idea of us that they want to create, it stresses them out. Am I following you?
Yes, yeah. What that was yesterday was what they want us to say. That's what they hear when we speak. It's not what we actually say.
Chat's saying to me, is it Genoy Cleefsa? Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Clegg's doing just fine, unfortunately for you. Unfortunately for me? Why would another man's, thank you for the update, good health be bad for me? I love the disdain that's poured across. I'm suggesting that I do have empathy for somebody who might be in mental disorder, and the response from a minion is to say, he's fine, unfortunately for you. Don't really follow that sentiment, but I like how well you've ironically made my point about our opponent's stress. Now they need to project it. That's not unfortunate for me, but you'd like it to be. Very telling. Thank you, YouTube chat. Always insightful.
Well, they're still under the apprehension that we're their opponents. They know it's measured flat, though.
But that comment is actually a desire for the sentiment to be mirrored. That's all that really is. They would hope that I would go away because it's bad for their side for me to be talking about Earth being measured flat. So it's unfortunate for Craig that I exist, but to project that sentiment back over onto my side, telling me he's doing well, that's unfortunate for you. Oh, why? Because he spends all day proving globe? How terrible for me. No, neither of those things are true. Pure projection. Yeah, me being in existence, which is why you all hate me, is bad for Craig and his mental health. I know that, which is why I can recognise that and extend a certain degree of empathy to my opponent. I know how devastating what we do is to him, mentally. What he does is inconsequential to me. I can barely remember his surname. Meanwhile, Craig lives in a place called Oakley. So, you know, that's going to be a constant reminder of me and my name, isn't it?
So he lives in a place called you, and you live in his head.
Absolutely.
Well, that explains everything now.
We have absolutely no desire to cause mental anguish to our opponents. I don't care most of the time. You know, barely tips the scale of I could care less about these people. Rarely ever does it reach that point. Like I said earlier, it does when it's my own side, right? I actually care, or cared, now past tense, for Jaren. Weird though that might sound, that's why I put effort in. Yeah, I see that as a worthy endeavour. When he was a flat earther, gonna have to work out my tenses here. It seemed like a worthy endeavour, past tense, when I approached Jaren to correct his woeful understanding of the subject. Well, now it just seems like he's a blatant shill. There's no other way to describe it in shorthand. No, don't hold me to that. I don't give a shit proving his bloody paycheck. I'm saying it in a way that just summarises a sentiment about a person's behaviour when they go from talking about how Earth's flat except for the bits that actually prove it, which apparently make us con artists and scammers when we talk about them, or things that detrimentally prop up the globe, like the lies that science, which it isn't, offer. Those things will get us. That's Flat Earth Debate, Nathan Oakley and associated parties, called scammers and grifters by Jaron, when he's supposed to be on our side. Now that will lose me sleep, because I want somebody who's allegedly on my side to do a bloody good job at proving Earth's flat like we do daily here. Why wouldn't I want that from someone on my own side who's out calling me a scammer? Well, now I know why, right? Because he was just rolling up his sleeves ready to shill for the globe, and that's precisely what he's now doing. Good. Yeah, you want to call me a scammer now? I won't dig very deep with the rest of my compadres on the Flat Earth side of this discussion. You're not a party to anymore. You never were. We were saying it all along. I was being shouted down by my own side in regards to Jaron, because they were saying he's not a flat earther. At best, he's a true earther.
Yeah, and now he goes around on his little campaign looking so sad, and how he's just trying to help people. And look at how he's being treated. And what is he supposed to do? He's come to a truth, and he's not supposed to hide it. And we're refusing his help. Nobody's listening. What a joke.
Yeah, he's welcome to come and offer it with doors open, Jaron. Let him know. Oh, right, I didn't know that you were trying to... I don't, follow you anymore, Jaron, because my understanding is that you're now a globehead. So, but the door's open. If you want to come and help us and convert us, that's the whole point of this show. Maybe you can join as a ball believer and tell us how wrong we are about the flat Earth measurements that are on record from Antarctica, for example. Maybe you can square those circles. I doubt it.
I'll tell you what, if he had any balls, he would come in here.
He's not.
Come on in here.
He's not here for those purposes.
You got the proof. Come in here and tell us all about it, Jiren.
He's on the circuit at all for selfish endeavours. It's about Jaron now, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, well, more power to you, Jaron. Again, as always, like any other globe believer, that I would echo this sentiment. I wish you every success as a YouTuber. Good for you.
That's just it, Nathan. I was just going to make that comparison. You are a YouTuber. You never hide that. But you understand what you're talking about, and you're not going to... I mean, you can't walk away from Flat Earth. So he held his YouTube, should I say, hat. He had that, and he held that more valuable than the truth of what Earth is. So that's the problem there.
No, he never knew Earth was flat.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
He never knew.
Or if he did, he didn't.
But how could he not know? It's been broken down so easily.
Doesn't matter. Don't appeal to this man's motivation.
Capacity.
Go ahead, John.
I wasn't going to speak to motivation, comprehension, capacity. There's a litany of reasons why he can't comprehend the topic. All of them really don't matter. He's never demonstrated that he understands, that he knows why the Earth is flat.
Well, how about when he took Brenda to task with the Black Swan? Oh, but that's not proving Earth's flat. That's just debunking the globe. Yeah, but even that, why ain't he pulling from that? He knows it's not a globe.
You don't know what he does know, Neil. I just said, don't appeal to his motivation. Who cares? You know, people's actions are all you can go by. In this instance, when I say shill, I'm not saying it because like I said earlier, can demonstrate by paycheck evidence that is paid by some government entity to shill for the opposing side, right? But when people have the descriptions of controlling an opposition by leading it, then you look at Jaron's actions, you can understand a shorthand version of that being the word shill, right? And no one's going to argue with me either.
I still say he's more concerned about his YouTube and making money on YouTube than he ever was about the topic. Sorry.
So am I. That's a terrible comparison. I'm working my way up to plugging my eBay store so I can flog a few microphones.
Yeah, but you're not going to announce Flat Earth because you know it's flat. You cannot divorce yourself from this, Nathan. You know it, and I know it. Why? Because we know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that Earth is flat.
Yeah. It's not that we ever can bring it into question. When you say you can't walk away from it, you're absolutely correct. When you know how Earth's measured, what are you going to do? Walk away and go, well, even though I understand at a base level that Earth's measured flat, I mean, it could still be that ball that, was made up 150, 350, 400, maybe 500 years ago by the Roman Catholic Church. That version modelled on the measurements of a flat Earth might actually be true. I mean, we might be on a ball that we created mathematically from flat Earth measurements. That could be the reality that we're in. When you're saying Jaron isn't and can't and must have known, etc., those points of sentiment that you put across earlier, Neil, you number one, like we said, can't divine his thoughts, but you're going from your position that you know and our audience knows why Earth is flat. Once you know it from that point of view, then you can't walk away. Because nothing that you ever look at in terms of Earth as a reference, as it being measured, surveyed, flown on, built upon, navigated, mapped, all of those things will always require a flat surface be measured. We can't get away from it. It's the reason I, on the show, can say things like, all measurements will require a surface level. Because they all do, and all will, and that's just a statement of fact. It's axiomatic in terms of how Earth is used. Again, reiterating your point, there's no walking away from that. Once you get that base level understanding of how the Earth is functioning, the principle of the Earth, it is flat. It's not I believe the Earth is flat or I believe the Earth is a globe. It's flat. There's no getting away from it. Yes, Nathan, I agree. There's no getting away from it.
There is no getting away from it. You know, and I know. You say it all the time. But he's just a chill. I don't know. He must have got paid. Well, John says he never knew. So I can't agree with him with that, but I understand what he's talking about. You can't be in a subject, in a topic for all these years. He used to listen to your show, him and his wife on their jog. So there's nothing. He knows the earth is flat. He's just taking in the money right now. He found a doorway where he could sell his soul, and he sold it. And he's gone to the dark side.
Whatever.
He ceased to be Jaron Scampanella and became Globetard.
Maybe. I mean, you can't back any of this other than his actions, and we all know what he's doing. We've seen it, hence me being able to shorthand call him a shill. He shills for the globe now. It's just a fact. Yeah, you can call me a shill for flat Earth if you like. I also like, this is very amusing, if you're one of the people making these comments, yeah, keep it up, it's really funny, saying that I'm the only one left. Oh, there's no one else out there doing this now. You're the last one. You're like, oh, really? Should we sit down and watch an Eric Debate video together? Yeah? What a load of crap. People want to pretend that it's all faded to nothing and there's no flat earthers left. Right, no. You can censor us into oblivion and create that impression with searches. Good.
Sorry, Nathan.
No,
I don't know what I will do when you also change the sides. I will think about suicide.
What? I only caught after that. When I change sides, what?
Because you're the last one. Now, when his last one is gone, I don't know what I will do with myself. You understand?
He said, I think about committing suicide.
Oh, don't say things like that.
Yeah, because...
No, don't even pretend. Yeah, don't even put that out as a sentiment. No. Right. You would think if that sentiment was true, then positionally, I'd be absolutely crucial, right? If they could turn me, then I'd be like Luke Skywalker, right? Very, very pivotal in that little game. I'm not that piece. I'm just not that important. As much as I'd love to kid myself that I'm the last man standing on flat Earth, because then I'd have a much higher value on the board, wouldn't I? No, that's not the case.
If they win against you, if you change the size, I think the sea level it's gone. It's finished. It's gone.
If they beat me, sea level becomes sea curve. It all changes.
Yeah. You
It
will.
wouldn't matter if I wasn't here.
You will put that in dictionary. Yeah, more. Yeah.
Yeah, in the past
You'll
I've said
write
it.
new book.
I've said it wouldn't matter if I was the only one saying Earth is flat. I'll go beyond that and say it wouldn't matter if I wasn't here at all. Earth will still be measured flat, even if I'm not saying it. It makes no difference. Whether or not you as an audience member appreciate that fact, that's a different story. Hey, Adam.
Yeah, people are confusing acceptance with understanding.
Yeah, their lack of acceptance and my dissemination of that information they fail to accept, it doesn't alter the facts in the matter. And the elucidation of those facts are irrelevant also. If for a period nobody recognises that Earth is flat, does that alter the surface levels being measured always? No. If suddenly everybody both utilises a flat plane of reference for measurement for surveying, but simultaneously every single person on the face of the flat Earth that they're measuring thinks it's a ball incorrectly, would that also change anything? No. Earth is still being measured flat by those people, in spite of their ignorance. If the success is such that every single person temporarily doesn't appreciate what they're measuring while they measure it, doesn't change that they're still measuring a flat Earth, and it will be appreciated again at some point. You have to constantly suppress this to keep the religion of a ball alive. That is to say, the lie of the globe is so big and so massive that you must peddle it continuously and constantly put efforts and probably money into the suppression of people like myself. That's a constant endeavour. Now, that eventually, that is just going to create a web of lies like any other lie. Fragile. So I don't give a toss if me not talking about it happened tomorrow because some perceived hypothetical spin doctor comes and turns me for the same reasons that Jaron's been turned. It wouldn't make any difference to the world that we live in. It wouldn't make a scrap of difference or change the fact that to keep everybody in the dark, so to speak, you still have to suppress every single person that points out the obvious, that's that Earth's measured flat, and peddle the globe light constantly in a massive way all the time at great expense, constantly. Getting Katy Perry's 2 pennyworth, that's not cheap.
You also need the Feast of Nonsense as well, because to deny the plane of reference, that is almost as important as getting people to believe it's a ball. It's probably more important that they deny the knowledge that they're going to move forward with to claim it's a ball.
How is Katy spelt? Is it Katy? Can someone get me some images of Katy Perry coming back from space? Or better still, in a sky vacuum. That'd be a blinder. Is it Katy? Yes, Nathan.
Yes, it's Katy.
Perry. Katy Perry in space. Just changing the name of the title. I didn't think updating the YouTube title would cause a stony silence, but it obviously did. I'm just adding Katy Perry as a clickbait thumbnail. Clickbait title. I'll do a thumbnail later.
You asked us to look stuff up. You asked us to look stuff up, now you're complaining about us looking stuff up.
I wanted a picture of Katy Perry in the background, so we all know who we were talking about. And plus, I didn't actually fully recognise when I saw the clip earlier with the black woman and what I now know to be Katy Perry. I didn't necessarily know in the front of my mind that it was Katy Perry while I was watching it. I don't think it had any note to that in the lower third of the video. It was just some woman talking. Like, I'm not a Katy Perry fan. I wouldn't know what she looked like now, but I do remember thinking, that looks a bit like Katy Perry. It's because it was.
She used to be Christians. How do you like that? She used to be. Russell Brand was the opposite. Now he supposedly is. What's going on here? Is everybody like confused?
Makes total sense, Neil.
What the fuck is this?
No swearing.
Baby, you're a
I've just got 4 different people in this
firework.
Yeah, I think everybody just went and Googled Katy Perry because Master B's full of those images now.
Oh, brilliant. Here we go. Well, let's have a little looky-loo and see what we got going on. Okay, for your pleasure, audience, we give you Space Perry. Dun, 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 with her flowing locks. What's it say? Blue Origin? Is that the Amazon guy?
Yep. But she's floating.
Bezos.
She's floating. Gravity.
Floating? Is this is one of those posh caravans in the background, isn't it? Got a really nice front door on it.
Yeah, but she's not floating. She's
Look at one of
falling.
those pictures.
the-
She's floating.
She's floating.
She's falling at the same rate as the vehicle around her is not floating.
I expect her to get a role in a sci-fi show in the next 6 months. What say you?
Yes. Did you ever see Galaxy Quest?
Yeah,
It's like a
the remake.
spoof on Star Trek.
we're
I
gonna
love that movie.
We will get a Star Trek or a Galaxy Quest or a Buzz. What was the in the 26th century or something? What was that one called? Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers. We'll get something like a Buck Rogers or a Star Trek remake or something like that, and Katy Perry will be in there.
Bitty, 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 bitty,
Biddy,
bitty.
biddy, biddy, biddy. Yeah, you got it. So you reckon?
Yeah, there was one point.
Go on, John.
Oh, I was just going to say there was one point in time that I wanted to use the same techniques NASA does to pretend like I was going into the second law of thermodynamics violation so that the ballers would come along and debunk the very notion of it, you know, and I never did follow through.
I like this shot. She's going, no, seriously. Stand up and pull my finger. Pull it. Go on.
She's got great eyes.
Oh, here we go. We're going to find out who's a Katy Perry fan now, like we had with, who was it previously? Candace Owens.
No, but she does. Look how blue her eyes are. Like an ocean.
She's a good-looking chick still. You'll give her that right, in spite of creeping on 40. She kept herself in good condition.
Yeah, she's in good shape. She's tight.
She ain't
Later
no Candace Owens, man.
For a later model, very good shape. Not much rust.
Wait a second. She ain't no Candace Owens. What am I sensing here? Kissing? Refracted in Katy Perry's signature?
Just because she's female, can we not turn this into let's objectify Katy Perry as a person? She's relevant for her former Christian beliefs, now heliocentric beliefs, in a sky vacuum, and our skepticism towards her probably getting a role. This will be her reinventing herself in a space role on a TV show. That's under the proviso that she can actually act. She might be a god-awful actress, although that doesn't tend to matter, does it? They don't normally care.
No, since she's been sanctified in the second law of thermodynamics violation, her looks are no longer important. She goes strike while the iron's hot. Well, let's get her on a show.
Exactly. How you doing, Adam? Good to see you in G Plus or Teams, whatever you want to call it.
Adam
You are needed here. Don't listen to anybody or don't feel like you're not adding to the show. You are.
Who are you talking to?
Price of Adam.
I appreciate it. I do.
Is this one from one of
Nobody
her
said
stage
anything
shows
that's not
in a
anything.
spacesuit? Very good. Someone sent a picture of her in a spacesuit. Obviously, this isn't from her going to space. This is from her being on stage with a load of stage lights behind her.
Well, the funny thing is that guy this morning when he said she didn't go to space, she went on some Disney ride or something because she can't go there. And that's a regular guy. He's a sports show host.
You can go to space. You exist in space.
No, you know what I mean. He means where they're claiming that they went. And then he even got to Elon Musk, how he divorced his first wife because he revealed his dream that he was going to get to Mars and colonize it. And she was like, no, that you can't do that. It's impossible. And he divorced her, supposedly. And they even laughed at that, like saying they don't even know what Mars is. So I think the topic and things discussed are reaching a wider audience than we think.
This time next year, there'll be 1 million people, won't there, Neil?
Depends on if you get the damn book out. Now, I like yesterday. We were very vigilant. We got there. We got busy. Now we got to get busy again today. We got to be doing this every day until that book hits the shelves. If there are any shelves to hit.
And then it will be appreciated in 100 years when we're all dead.
John, why are you, why do you got to even say that?
Because I agree with
It's
him.
going to be an immediate effect.
I agree. It's probably a good chance that's going to be the case. But in the meantime,
shut up.
if it means I don't have to buy and sell microphones, then I'll be happy. Did I mention I got an eBay store with lots of microphones on it?
Once or twice.
Just once or twice? Surely I could
You
space
see,
to
Adam?
mention it a
That's
few more
good.
times.
You may have mentioned it in passing. Why, you deal with microphones, Nathan? You're kidding.
Just temporarily. The fortuitous thing that I thought I'd have to do it to get a Neumann. Then I got a Neumann for cheap. And then I'm like, well, I've got stock now. And I do actually have a deficit in terms of my income from YouTube ad revenue, specifically that particular stream of revenue. It took a big dip while I'm writing the book. Or has, how'd you put it in present tense? I'm currently in a bit of a lull on YouTube ad revenue terms because of writing the book. Which means I'm doing that instead of other things. So to supplement that, I've got an eBay store with the mics that I was going through to try, hoping I'd find one that was cheaper than the one I ended up with that would satisfy. None of them did. But in the process, I'm like, oh, I'll sell that then. I'll move it on because it isn't what I hoped it would be. It's wrong for whatever reason. And in so doing, I actually ended up turning a profit because I'd bought them at a really good price, like anything I buy. So I've carried on doing that. Go on.
You should sell in your store curved levels. You know, the tool that people use to get something horizontal.
Bendy
Sell
levels?
a curved one.
Yeah, they call them bendizontals. You never heard of a bendizontal?
Anti-sextant.
How'd you fix
Yes,
them?
a sextant with a tangent mirror, right? That, like, it's got a ball constantly taped to the mirror.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sell sextants that have had the horizon mirror altered so it says tangent instead of horizon.
No, it's not the mirror. It's a sphere.
Say again, Sasha.
Not the mirror. The sphere. It's some kind of small sphere. It's on the apparatus on the sextant, and you're directly watching the sphere. You don't need to watch the mirror.
I suppose you could call the other lens that you look at the star through the sphere lens, and then you call the horizon, although it's not a lens really, they label it after the mirror, don't they? Regardless, you'd have terminologies that were globe related rather than, what you're actually measuring.
No, you could call it a spherizon.
A spherizon?
That sounds like a bendizontal, doesn't it?
A spherizon is a bendizontal concept, correct? Have you never heard of spherical geometry?
Have you ever heard of that woman, Patricia Sphere?
Patricia Sphere? I know her. She's the one who made those elevation ankle measurements.
And welcomed our heroes home. And left.
Mark Sargent's under the apprehension that she's behind the legal action that's been taken against him on her behalf. So obviously
I agree.
You reckon it's her behind it?
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't it be? Why would you think otherwise?
Why would I suggest that we discuss something that's completely unrelated to the nature of flat Earth and it being measured flat, and instead makes the entire subject into a drama about people and them getting sued?
No, I'll tell you why.
Isn't it?
I'll tell you why.
If he's being sued by Patricia Steer, why does it matter who's representing Patricia Steer? He's being sued by Patricia. It don't make no sense.
Listen, I'm going to tell you why I know it's her. Because it takes balls to do that.
So what? Because Patricia's got a set of balls on her. You're saying that confidence level gives away that it's her?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Patricia's a fairly bullshit, confident person. But I don't know whether or not Mark's right. Who knows? Who cares? Her name's on it, so, for all we know, it could be Paul on the plane. As you keep saying, it's his associated legal action, as opposed to him being drug along for the ride.
Yeah, it really don't matter. It's whose name is on the document. They're the ones who have the final say. Unless, you can prove she has a conservatorship that has her pronounced legally dead, like Britney Spears, then we can talk. But until then, yeah, she's doing it.
What? Britney Spears is declared legally dead in a conservatorship, did you just say?
Yeah, she's been in that for the last 10 years, Nathan.
I knew she was in a conservatorship, but I didn't know that meant she was declared legally dead.
Yes. You are no longer a legal person or a natural person. You are subject to the conservator.
Wow. Which is her dad, right?
I don't know at the moment. Whoever it is.
Yeah, it was her dad.
Oh.
Wow. That's messed up.
Yeah, the idea that someone who is capable of doing all of her own music, all of her own choreography, setting up every single show that she does, is incapable of spending her money is disgusting. The idea that that's being put forward is disgusting. It's travesty.
Well, she's probably in her 40s now as well, right? Like Katy Perry.
You see, Katy Perry just went to outer space.
No. Yeah, we got a picture
Why
of
don't
her
you
in
tell us
spacesuit.
all about it?
Sparkly.
Hi, Demon.
Hello.
What's up, Omni?
Yeah, she probably went really
Maybe
high.
you
Do you
don't.
know how high she went?
Well, she must have gone through the dome like a wrecking ball?
That's the wrong person. That's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, my God. Did he just say wrecking ball?
Well, let's not talk about this dome that nobody's claiming. How high did she get off surface level?
High enough to float.
Don't know, no one's telling us the height. John's just given that game away, though. Or has he? Maybe he was subtle. Maybe he don't know what
Well,
I'm
if you're
talking
going to declare a height,
Here we go.
then
Here we go.
how are they going to measure that height?
Less and less subtle by the second. I don't know. Maybe we'll get informed how high Katy Perry got. Till then, we'll just have to
Yeah,
wait.
but Nathan, how would they know how high? How would they measure how high?
Who knows?
They're
We're
gonna
not getting told, Neil. Let's not give that game away till someone plays with us.
Oh, I got you. Let me go Google it and see.
There's a way to measure it. You could take a barometer with you and measure the pressure at certain elevations and get a pressure differential as you raise off the surface level, and use horizontal boundary layers to describe that, and then call it atmosphere.
Hold on, call horizontal boundary layers atmo oxymoronic sphere. That makes no sense.
I got the
You
feet.
measuring the
I got the
flatness of
feet.
space?
346,802 feet above ground level. It says above ground level.
Oh well, that's a nice flat Earth proof.
And this is 350,449 feet above mean sea level.
Oh
This
well, it's
took
nice
the
that they
crew
gave us
above the carbon line. The
Nice that they gave us
internationally
these,
recognized boundary of space at 62,000 miles.
Nice that they gave us these flat Earth affirming measurements in height above surface level, eh? Sea level, you say? You'll need a flat Earth for that.
Meanwhile,
Almost
all
seems
you're
like
going
a
to
joke.
hear
It's so
talking about
obvious.
in the flat Earth forums is how Katy Perry's sigil patch looks like Baphomet, and how when they landed, they were waiting for the cameras, and Bezos noticed that they were opening the capsule door before it was time, so they made them close it, waited for the cameras, and then Bezos went with a special tool and made it look like that little flimsy door opened. And all those conspiracy things. Meanwhile, that's what the flat earthers are going to be talking about all this time. And it's pretty disheartening.
Oh, epic.
Kind of correct.
Well, they can't really talk how it broke through the dome, right? I mean, that wouldn't work.
No,
Well,
it
that's how
went
they
into a
measure
You're the
pocket
only
of the
one that's
dome that
claiming the
allows
dome.
gravity to have like an etheric
Omnivore.
effect.
Who's claiming a
It's like a
dome here,
pimple on the
Omnivore?
dome.
Who's claiming a dome
Maybe there's
besides you?
trapdoors.
Hold on. Just one at a time.
So me first. Who's claiming a dome here besides you, Omnivore? We say you cannot have gas pressure without containment.
Maybe there's like a Katy Perry VIP entrance.
Somebody up there with a rope.
Like a valve in space between the pressure we have and the vacuum it isn't.
Am I missing something? What was it you wanted, Omni? Was it just that joke?
He's not going to answer you, Nathan. I want him to address the mean sea level, the measurements that they gave us of how high she went. Let's address that. Omnivore.
Yeah, the horizontal boundary layers of atmosphere to get that too, because level's not level, right? How are you getting horizontal off the surface of Earth?
Well, just give Omni a second to answer, and if he doesn't, I'm going to go back to what that's Daddy, or is that what he's called? Sir Daddy? Said?
Surf Daddy.
Surf Daddy. Fair enough. I completely agree with what you just said. Right, how does the feast of nonsense work? Right, well, you need Jeff to go up to the door after it's been opened and say, close it again. Let's pretend. Shh. That it's being opened for the cameras. You know that? You've seen that. Why? So that we'll talk about that rather than the area that violates the second law of thermodynamics, sky vacuum that they're alleged to have been up when they measured their height off surface level. So they've managed to measure their height off the surface level to tell us how high they went. But it's important that we know that the door wasn't open correctly. Yeah, very disheartening when you see the flatties get hold of that. And you already said about the Baphomet thing. We already had that in chat from one of the super chatters. No offence to him. But, exactly, that's what people want to talk about, right?
Wait, you're saying
No,
that
Not you,
they're
Neil.
doing it deliberately?
Neil, did you hear me literally line up somebody else that wasn't you? Bloody hell. Pay attention to what's going on. Go ahead, Sir Study.
Sorry, Neil. I, I, I'm not saying that I haven't been fascinated by the Feast of Nonsense myself. And actually, I saw an Instagram video where they were praying to the phallus before they lifted off. They were all giving homage and oblations to the big dildo before they lifted off. So there's all this imagery that's out there. There's everything that the controlled opposition's putting out there. That's what I think that's they want us to focus on the esoteric and all the weird stuff because there's too many people that are learning that the earth is just measured flat and that's about it.
You did really well until you drew that conclusion. We can
definitely
we can cite that those are facts. Those are the tidbits being put out there, and we are directly reacting to it. When I get a super chat about the Baphomet symbol upside down on a lapel, you know what I mean? You're right. But then when you divine the motivation for doing it, that's when I have to step in and go, oh, you just overstep. You did so well till then.
Okay, well, and I understand that, and I agree with that. It's what I fall into it in my own head and just watching everything happening. What I don't do is go on and participate in the nonsense. It is much easier to just say Earth's measured flat and move on.
I totally get where you're coming from because I can't really disagree.
First of all, I am paying attention. Second of all, you made it sound like they're doing it deliberately to take us off the path because they know that we know that Earth is flat. And now you're saying no. So I agree.
No,
with the other guy.
we know
They're
that they
doing
know
it for
that
a
we know
reason.
that they know. It's all I think it all happens organically. I think it all happens without any one particular person pushing the button or pulling the strings. I think that's the fallacy and the error that we fall into when we think that there's somebody controlling how things go on the macro level. On the macro level, there's a God of this world and there's the creator of this world. And it's all a spiritual battle. And what happens is what happens because those two sides are people are aligning with one side or the other. And people who align with the creator know that the creator exists because they see creation. The other side, Satan, the devil, whatever that you want to call it, evil, is wants people to deny the creator. And what better way to deny the creator than to cause people or encourage people or educate people into denying the very creation that points to God? And that's it. Everyone just picks a side, and their motivations are based on who their master is. And this is what we do. It's just getting closer and closer to the point where you can look at, Baphomet Perry and the girls worshiping the penis that they're going to go into space in and come back like a bunch of starstruck. None of them said they saw the curve of the earth, as far as I can see, also, by the way. I found that interesting. And no one mentioned how high they went. They just mentioned how beautiful it was and how we're girls now and we're part of the
66 miles, they said. 65 to 66 miles.
Get out. Tell me that's not true.
Linear distance.
That's what they said.
Did any of them say, like, wait, it's flat?
No, none of them said it was flat. None of them said it was curved.
Yeah, they did.
None of them said anything.
Yes,
Katy Perry, the only one I heard is Katy Perry said,
Sir Duffy, just stop. Yeah, they did. They said, Sorry, just 1 sec. Just pop yourself on mute for a second, Daddy. Omni, they did when they said the 60 whatever miles. It said it was flat.
Why is that, Nathan?
You can't have a conversation with this guy because he goes silent for freaking 10 minutes, and then
okay,
he
Neil.
comes back
Neil.
in after the freaking fact.
Neil.
I already gave the distance. I already gave the height. Holy shit, omnivore!
Chill. That is the conversation, right? Don't
That's Joe
misinterpret what's happening. That's the end of the conversation, right, Neil? So there's an assertion, so that there could potentially be the idea that this is debatable, that nobody said it was flat. The last assertion was that nobody said they saw the curve. Well, did they say it was flat? Yes. Do it again, and we'll get the same stony silence to the conclusion I draw. Yeah, they described the linear distance of a flat surface level, didn't they? That's a flat Earth prerequisite in and of itself when they described the height. Everybody describing the height off a surface level is always going to be describing a flat Earth prerequisite. Obviously, they're saying Earth's flat. It could only be flat to describe their height. Now, we will have a protracted silence with nobody capable of challenging what I, Nathan Oakley, and what John, Refracted Curvature, have specifically highlighted about the fact that Earth is unequivocally being described as flat when they describe their height. Roll on the protracted silence. Earth is flat. There is no response because there isn't one required. It's just a fact that people can either deal with or pretend that some other third party that isn't me making those declared facts or John making those declared facts obvious to an audience, make that a person that doesn't really exist. Someone talking about penguins protecting an ice wall or things like that. Talk about that guy that's making the Katy Perry badge an upside down Baphomet. We can talk about that. We can talk about whether or not they saw an Earth curve edge. We can talk about that. But when it comes to me saying, no, they're definitely measuring their height of a flat Earth, it's definitely a proof we're on a flat Earth. Without doubt, there is no response to that. Because it's just a statement of fact when I say Earth is flat with proof of those facts. With Katy Perry and her proof of those facts. Thank you, Katy Perry, for telling us how high you were off a flat Earth. We will rejoice in your flat Earth proving measurements that you provided us with. Thank you. You're a flat earther, I understand there, Katy Perry, because you measured Earth flat with your height when you declared that you went up to space. How interesting that you could measure that space in a dimension off a surface level three-dimensionally. Yes, you'd need a flat Earth for that. Yes, that's me in this instance, Nathan Oakley, a flat earther, will use your cited evidentiary standard of measurement, in this case height, to prove beyond all doubt on a flat Earth debate show open to all, that's the public are open to access this show, when I declare with your evidence, Katie, that Earth is measured flat. Thank you for that evidence that you provided us. It came under question about 5 minutes ago by a man named Omnivore who was suggesting that you hadn't provided any flat Earth evidence, and I challenged that fact. And when challenging that fact with your flat Earth measurements, Katy Perry, there was stony silence because there is no doubt in anybody's mind, including our opponents who are welcome to come through the public gateway that I offer them daily, to challenge the flat Earth measurements you gave us, Katy Perry. We all know you're a flat Earth measuring chick because you measured a flat Earth when you gave us the height off it that you went to. Thank you again to Katy Perry for measuring Earth flat like we all do. I hope it's now clear to our, slightly ignorant and slow opponent on the Globe side who was under the misapprehension that nobody had suggested Earth was flat with this endeavour. They definitely did. I just didn't get a response when we pointed out to him the first 3 times.
Well, when you point out the dancing bear, people don't usually argue that there's a dancing bear there, but some people want to go back to counting the passes again,
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Maybe he didn't hear because he came in later with the mileage. So let me read it again. Katy Perry's Blue Origin spaceflight reached an altitude of 346,802 feet above ground level, AGL, above ground level, and 350,449 feet above mean sea level. MSL, that's what that stands for, omnivore. This took the crew above the Kármán line. What's that?
Who cares? It just was made clear to a globe believer on this show that Katy Perry did measure flat Earth. It's explicitly clear in the data about the measurements that she took that were prerequisite of a flat Earth to measure them. We don't seem to be getting a response, even though it was put out there that she hadn't suggested a flat Earth measurement, because she hadn't said that she'd seen Earth curve that doesn't exist beyond mathematics that we debunked in 2020. But she definitely did say that she'd measured a flat Earth. Katy Perry's a flat earther, like all of us, Omni, you included. It seems rude that you don't respond to me when I answer your question, when you suppose that there wasn't any flat Earth evidence being offered by Katy Perry. You've been corrected, Omni. Can you thank me, please? No? Just a dick. Just a globe-believing dick. Rude, too. Yeah, like all globe-believing dicks. Just rude. In the face of the flat Earth measurements that were needed to make the assertion that she went up into space for you dickheads to believe that there's a sky vacuum above our heads? No, she measured a height off surface level, sea level, it would seem. It's right there in the documentation that you obviously were too belligerent and idiotic and cowardly to read, Omnivore. You coward.
Well, he has to understand linear distance. I mean, he'd give it to it in miles. So
just let this stand as the lesson that it needs to be for the audience's benefit. When you put down what we put down here at Flat Earth Debate, there is no rebuttal to what we use to prove a flat Earth. There's no contention, there's no challenge to what we put down here. Earth is measured flat by every standard that we get put here by our opponents. In this case, Katy Perry going to space proves beyond all doubt, with their own cited measurements, that Earth is flat. But with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you first and foremost to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
that's been a couple days back.
Is he still trying to get people to read a planar surveying book? Is he still on that one that he was trying the other day?
He is under the misapprehension that if you read along with him, this planar surveying book will declare that it doesn't survey planes.
Oh, just read it along with him, and it makes it true for him. Okay. Yeah, sounds like gaslighting to me.
What show number is that? 2318. Sorry, chocolate.
So good. So Katy Perry went to space, huh? Is that what's going on?
I'm just doing the thumbnail for it. Katy Perry in space.
In space.
In space. Yeah, I'm doing the thumbnail with her in a glittery spacesuit that's about as convincing as the ones that NASA use.
Oh, so this time we don't have Neil deGrasse showing up for an emergency meeting. This time we'll just put her in a in a penis-shaped rocket and send her to space. That's what we're doing this time.
Yep. It seems the conversion from the priest worked better than we thought when she was under the thumb of Tyson. Didn't she actually say she was considering flat Earth at the time?
I don't know if she. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen any of that. I don't remember if she said she was considering it, but just asking the questions was enough to get him to have an emergency meeting. To
Yeah, appeared like
no,
a freaking
no,
genie, didn't he? It's out of nowhere. Suddenly, he's talking to Katy Perry. You're like, okay.
yeah, yeah. That conversation needed to happen quick.
Yeah, he could say something. Now, Katie, everybody knows we measure it flat. That's not contentious. But to say that it's measured flat, you can't do that.
Hey, one deck.
Hi, Nathan. Hi, guys.
Hey, one deck, was you in Discord with me when we were discussing the citation of level being horizontal?
I was in the other week when he was getting a bit frustrated with one of the guys about the surveying manual.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody asked for a citation that level was horizontal, and I'm like, I'm not going to look that up. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you a citation that grass is green or that you know, people have hair on their heads. You know, like I'm not getting you that side. But there was some flat earthers in there that just started like firing them off, rapid fire. You know, and the level of denial.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to cite that. I mean, it's just logic, isn't it? Common sense logic. We all know what horizontal is, and we all know what level is. If you don't know that by now, then you've got a problem.
Right. The axiom that we use to understand these things, right, is the horizon is horizontal, and that is where sea level appears to meet the sky. It's pretty basic to understand that, but they don't want to know that for some reason.
But they will use these terms when they're trying to explain how their Earth curve is measured, which they haven't got. They'll be describing horizontal and level and telling you it's a curved measurement.
You're joking, but I mean that's seriously what they do. They measure the differential between a flat plane at 1 foot and a flat plane at 6 foot, and they calculate a curve from it.
No, as long as it's locally flat, then what's the problem?
Locally means measurably. Did you know that? Locally is just within an area that can be known by the individual. So depending upon how far you measure, that will be local to you.
I mean, if everybody's local is flat, then I suppose pretty much everywhere's flat.
I don't know. You can't say that. You can't say that for some reason. People get upset when you just point that out.
Too simple.
It is pretty simple. I'll give you that. I mean, we're talking about like back in the beginning of civilization's level of understanding of the world. So it is pretty simple.
It is a psychological dilemma. I mean, if you're in a position now where you've got to be explaining how level and horizontal means curved and spherical, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Me neither.
All I know is I do understand why you John were spazzing the other day, and Nathan ends up spazzing on these people because it's literally like they're just gaslighting you, right? That's what it feels like. That's what especially Omnivore. It seems like that's his only tactic, to tell you what you're thinking, what he knows about you, how he knows that you know that level, something you absolutely know that you don't know. It's kind of insane that that's the only tactic that you guys got left. It's terrible.
Yeah, and it ain't that. Like when they say you don't understand. I mean, technically he's right. It's not that I can't comprehend it though. They don't know that. They think it's we just have lack of comprehension. I don't believe the absurdity. Therefore, I cannot understand absurdity. You know,
Yeah.
it's
And they
that
turn it
simple.
into you don't understand.
I mean, if you go strictly by what the words mean, understanding is reached through a belief and comprehension. That's what a route to knowledge, right? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what we experience. Why are you talking about a belief subset to begin with? You know what I mean?
But that's how you know we're talking about clowns, right? Because this is the only place they're gonna say such things. They're not going to walk to somebody in real life who's actually using a level to build something and tell them, "Hey, guy, you don't understand how that level you're using is actually curved." You know what I'm saying? Like that nonsensical idea only exists right here, where these people live in their minds. That's it.
I was thinking in your Horizon store, we should get some of those levels and squares and take them and bend them, you know, and try to
You
sell
mean
them.
on one side of the jacket have the geometric horizons, and then the other side the curved levels.
Yes, absolutely. Curve levels and the curve squares. You make this crap up.
Yeah, I could fit some of those inside the trench coat.
Someone had a good idea about taking a sextant and taking the horizon mirror off and just putting a ball there. Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of renaming it the tangent mirror.
Yeah, but
How do you get the tangent to appear in the mirror? Do you have to say tangent 5 times?
No, you
well, you
just
have to
draw a
know your
bunch of
distance
dotted
to the.
lines on the mirror. And
No. You have to know the distance to the horizon. Then you need to calculate the amount of refraction on the day and point that sucker into the water. Like,
oh yeah, the refraction. Maybe you have to add a refraction dongle on the end of the tangent mirror.
You can just use a bubble sextant. It'll get you there.
Oh, thank
yeah,
you,
those
man.
just
That's it. And you can be any height above the horizon you want with that bubble sextant, and you don't even have to count for dip, right?
That's correct. Yes.
you could just use your eye level. You could just use your eye level, couldn't you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Keep on going with it. Yes. Yes. Obviously, yes.
You could use eye level, and you can use your eye level above sea level, and you can use that bubble level at 10 feet or 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 feet above the flat plane of the sea level, and that sextant will work.
Yes,
But
it does. Yes, correct.
Yes.
You got it.
Thanks.
I keep hearing this
studied.
word level.
Welcome
I don't
to
think it
Flat
means
Earth.
what you think it means.
I know.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
I know my stuff. I've studied this for a while.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, I'm very glad to hear it. So that should tell you something about whether or not the whether or not the horizon plays the role you think it does.
Wait. Why don't you phrase that a little differently? That kind of made it personal. Why don't you just phrase it the way that you want to say it to make your point?
Oh, I don't think you understand how sextants work, but you do
I
understand how a
There he
bubble sextant
goes.
works.
I just told you I understood how it works.
So why is it you don't
He
need to
even
use
agreed
dip
with you just
for a
now,
bubble sextant?
but now he turns around and tells you that you don't
I know.
understand. Isn't that cute, right?
I
Go
know.
ahead, Omnivore. Keep
I
going with your
just
little
said
tactic.
I just said
Go
you
ahead.
don't need dip. I just
Right.
said you don't need dip when you use a
So-
bubble level. So that means I know how it works, right?
So a bubble sextant.
So, well, that's what I meant.
So why not? What's the distinction?
Why?
Yeah.
No?
Why not?
Why don't I need to account for my height above sea level
Mm-hmm.
when I'm using a bubble
all you need is a
sextant?
parallel.
Uh-huh.
Because the
All you
bubble
need is a
sextant
parallel
establishes
horizontal.
level and horizontal, no matter how high you are above the surface of the Earth. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
How do they do that? How?
because it levels to the surface of the Earth, which is what you need to use the sextant. Your sextant needs to be at the surface level, right? Right? Yes.
It needs to be at the surface level. So if I'm in an airplane, I'm not at the surface level.
No,
We're not
no, it
playing
needs to
little
be
mincing with
parallel.
words. You need to have.
It needs to be parallel with surface level.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
It just needs to be
It has to be with
parallel
surface
with
level.
surface level.
What do you mean by that?
Parallel
What do you mean by?
parallel with surface level?
Oh, it has to be parallel with surface level.
Yeah. You need the horizon.
How do you? Oh, does the bubble level require the horizon?
What do you mean?
Do you have a horizon
No,
mirror for a bubble
obviously
sextant?
not. It does not, because you're using the bubble instead of using the horizon as a means of calibrating your device.
Hold on. Did you know that, Surf Daddy? Because you asked him, rather than saying no, you just said, well, why? What do you mean? Was your answer. So did you know that?
Did I know what?
You don't need the horizon when you're using a bubble sextant.
Yeah, I know you don't use a horizon when you use a bubble sextant. You use the bubble. You use the.
Okay, right. You use the bubble, right? So what's the bubble establish?
Horizontal.
No.
No. What does it?
What does it establish? Please tell us.
Vertical.
Please.
Vertical.
Yes, and that means horizontal too, because vertical is perpendicular to horizontal. Thank you, Omnivore. Thank you.
No, that's correct. You are correct about that.
I am correct.
So why do you need the horizon for a nautical sextant but not for a bubble sextant?
Because you're using the artificial horizon of the bubble to make the horizon that you need.
The artificial horizon of the bubble.
Just like the artificial horizon on an airplane.
Yeah, but you don't need the artificial horizon on the airplane. You don't need the HUD, right?
Irrelevant.
Whoa!
Irrelevant.
You don't need a gyro.
This is
to fly an
irrelevant.
You don't need the HUD to use a bubble sextant.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I've diverted. Let's go back to the sextant.
Yeah. Right. He said vertical.
Yeah. Okay.
Vertical is
So
perpendicular
I agree.
to horizontal.
I think you're definitely onto something.
Perpendicular on a sphere.
If I'm on an airplane.
No, we're honest. We're using a sextant, right? And
we're using a bubble sextant. We're using a
right.
bubble sextant, so we don't need to worry about dip correction.
Right. And you told me
we don't need the horizon.
But you need vertical.
You need vertical, which plumb or a bubble will give you at any point, right?
Above the horizon, above the tangent plane of the horizontal that you need for the 90-degree vertical.
No, not a tangent
Yes.
plane. Hold on, what are you in? Hold on.
So,
Surf
okay,
Daddy.
so the
No.
tangent, yes, I like that. Yeah,
No.
so what I'm doing
I
with
didn't say-
my...
I
You will be
didn't, I
needing
You
didn't
said
say
tangent.
tangent.
You said tangent plane.
Did I say tangent plane?
You did,
Yeah,
yes.
you did,
Someone else besides you? I did?
You did.
I apologize. I misspoke. I meant the horizontal plane that you need
Wow.
to establish. You
So-
need a tangent.
But there is
maybe I
no
was confused.
there is no
You need a tangent.
perpendicular to a sphere
Nope.
to get horizontal.
All you need...
You can't have
So,
vertical on a sphere. That there is no vertical on a sphere.
Perpendicular to vertical is horizontal.
He can't get
Also,
that on a sphere.
tangent. They are the same thing.
Vertical is not with respect to a sphere, sir. It's with respect to horizontal. There are no verticals on a sphere.
Yeah,
But they do
Omni
not
obviously
have...
knows that. Omni's a convert. He's a flat earther now. Omni's on our side now. It's not like Jaren. Omni understands Earth is flat, and he understands these prerequisites, don't you, Omnivore?
There is nothing in there that says that the horizontal has to be parallel to the surface of the Earth.
Eye level.
The word horizontal that gives it away.
All horizontals run parallel with the plane of the horizon. All of them.
Okay, but you're not using the horizon with a bubble sextant, are you?
Keep trying to find the right
We just
words
established
to
that.
try to convince everybody that you're correct. I mean,
Just
keep
don't
trying.
mention Kurt.
It's cute.
Yeah, right. But he thinks now
No,
that
Surf Daddy
he's
agrees.
trying to divorce.
Surf Daddy's
he's trying
got
to
it going on.
divorce- He's trying to divorce vertical from horizontal. Vertical does not exist without horizontal. Horizontal does not exist without vertical.
That's not true.
They're axiomatically linked together.
That's not true. Can you find a citation for that?
Okay, well, let's go into your delusion of what the world is.
Hold on.
Okay, that's a lot of words for no. That's a lot of words for no. I can't. I got it.
Hello. You're asking for a citation for perpendicular, correct?
Perpendicular is at 90 degrees. But you don't need 90 degrees to horizontal to establish a vertical, do you, Nathan?
Those two things are axiomatically tied as you've just tied them to each other, and you just did it for us.
Can you find a citation for that?
Do you understand that you just did it for us, you dumbass?
Can you find a citation?
You just did it for us third time.
No, I didn't.
You're the citation,
you dumbass. I just made you do it. You were easy to trick, and now you're rumpusing me in defeat.
That is what
rolling around, chanting through the top of me. I cite you from 10 seconds ago. Again, let's just do it on camera for my audience's benefit. When my name is Nathan Oakley, take a giant steaming dump on this ball believer because I've been asked to axiomatically link perpendicular, vertical, and horizontal, and I get him to do it with his own dumbass words, this stony silence is the result. So the conversation ends then. I cite you. Last thing in the discussion, Omni. I cite you and your words from 25 seconds ago. Should we move on? Axiomatically linked, I say yes, so do you. 30 seconds ago.
Here's
that
what it
is
would actually
the end
look like.
then. That's the end of the discussion then. So yes, we will require vertical in your descriptions, and you don't have that on a globe.
So this is the kind of citation that you would give if you actually knew how to give a citation.
Don't
You would say,
you?
in order to establish vertical, you must take you make vertical perpendicular to a horizontal established from the horizon. But that's not what you do with a bubble sextant.
So this isn't
a citation.
This isn't a citation at all. This is the rambling words of you babbling shite, telling me that I would know how to cite something, and then you've babbled shite, suggesting that this is a citation. It's not. It's you rambling nonsense.
but it's still you axiomatically linking vertical and horizontal. Even in your ramblings, you do
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Meanwhile, you don't have these
That
things.
was just getting weird.
Yeah, you don't have these things on a globe. They're principle. They're linked to a flat Earth. You can't have them on a globe. There's no horizontal. There's no perpendicular. There's no vertical. None of these things work on a globe. You don't have any of them. We have them on a flat Earth. They're used on a flat Earth.
Never mentioned
Keep
curvature,
trying, though. Keep trying to put the words you need in the correct order to make yourself right.
Yeah, maybe you could
It's
call it a
actually kind of
citation.
cute.
When you get in the right order, you can call it a citation. Your words, that is. Well, that was fun.
I feel a little dirty though. So can we clear something up before I have to go? Because Omnivore said that I had it going on, and I take offense to that. So I think it's all just because I accidentally said tangent plane when I really, really, really just meant the horizontal plane of reference.
No. Surf Daddy, that's not why you have it going on. That's not why you have it going on.
Omnivore, I really don't want your love.
I know.
That I'm somehow
But
going on.
what you realize, the leap of logic that you made that Nathan didn't, is that you don't need the horizon to use a bubble sextant. All you need is plumb, which the bubble gives you. So you can dry your tears.
Right.
I didn't say it because you misspoke and said tangent, even though that was very smart.
No, you don't need the horizon. You just need surface level, parallel with the
surface
bubble.
level is what it's playing with. Thanks. Okay, I just wanted a little penance time.
I'm glad. I'm sorry you feel dirty because you got accolades of being, a good guy or whatever.
Yeah, Omnivore it just feels bad when I'm trying to say the right words and he spins them around, and it's just so sad that he
Don't feel
can't
bad about it. It's
figure
all
out
good. You're all right.
Vertical means horizontal. Oh, thank you.
Omni's on our side now. I don't think people recognise the awful truth of what's going on. Like I said at the beginning of this live show, the anti-flatties are no different to us. They might be embarrassed about wanting to project their concerns about this subject back onto us, but they're no different to us. Omni's no different to us. He obviously recognises where the discussion ends, because that's where the discussion ends. When we prove Earth's measured flat and there's no response to it. That is where the discussion ends. He knows it's ended there because he's not saying anything. So he's the same as us. Let's not misunderstand what's going on.
Except when he's giving citations about what perpendicular means.
He didn't. He just said load of nonsense waffle, stuttery sentence fragments.
Well, no, the citation that you used, when he cited what perpendicular was
him
to horizontal. Yeah, that was him. That was his. So
Omnivore, you see how that comes full circle? You actually became the citation you were looking for. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I think that should just be recorded and just replayed every time he has tries to flip the words around and stuff like that. Just play his citation back. Perpendicular.
If you play the whole thing, I would love that. If you were to play my entire answer, that would be great.
There's no need. There's an abundance of them. Every time we talk to a baller, Omni, you're no exception. They all measure Earth flat. I mean, as much as I'd love to make out that you're like really special and a special snowflake for finding out Earth's flat and knowing it axiomatically and having the nice stony silences when you can't retort, but that's okay. Those are good things to have on recordings, but lots of ballers do it every single time they make any assertion. They all need a flat Earth to measure first. You're not special.
Not at all.
And they've been doing it all the time as well.
Yeah, like for 10 years.
It's longer than that. It started with Aristotle when he measured angles off the surface of Earth.
Been
Yeah.
measuring, that's it, exactly. He knows, like we know, that they've been measuring Earth flat for thousands of years according to the current narrative. Literally. The current historic narrative says Earth's been measured flat for thousands of years. Cool, huh? And everyone knows it. I mean, some people, idiots, let's be clear about who those people are, take those flat Earth measurements and say, look, here's how Eratosthenes measured these angles off a flat surface to the sun. That means Earth's a globe. Now, those people are idiots because they're taking the thousands of years of flat Earth measurements, in this case, elevation angle measurements off a flat baseline, Earth surface, specifically Earth surface, that they did thousands of years ago, and they're still being cited to this day. So from that point to this, according to the narrative, for thousands of years, we've been measuring Earth flat. And everybody knows it. Dumbasses take that flat Earth measurement and say, that means we're on a curved surface that we just measured flat. I mean, I don't think Omnivore's that big of a retard. He understands that when we measure Earth flat, we're measuring Earth flat. And saying it's curved would mean the measurement you just made flat was not a flat measurement anymore. Therefore, not a measurement of anything to make your assertion that the measurement that was and is flat, because it's a measurement of Earth's surface, actually bends. Maybe it's that dumb. We don't know. He doesn't pipe up when we get to these absolutely devastating deaths of his globe idiocy and religion. I mean, maybe the powers that should not be employ people who are formerly quite brave to come and cower in my presence when I point out how Earth's measured flat in their own examples. Maybe they can tell us how brave they were in, past lives that they had. Or they can go on mute. Very brave that they are in the face of the flat Earth measurements that I detail. Very brave indeed.
They detail.
They detailed. Yes, my bad. Like Katy Perry. The flat earther that she is. Thank you again to Katy Perry for measuring Earth flat. There is no response to that. Doesn't matter when we're surrounded by shills on an open public platform pointing out the fact that Katy Perry measured Earth flat from surface level. What's the response?
The emperor has no clothes, apparently.
There wasn't one. There isn't a response to it. There's globe defenders in here. I say Katy Perry measured Earth flat. That is a fact. The response is... Wait for it to come in any second. There's going to be a whole load of globers any moment now, correcting me about how flat Earth wasn't measured from surface level for a parallel eye level, axiomatically linked to vertical and horizontal. Yeah, no challenge is coming. I was wrong. There is no response to this from globe-believing idiots who assert that these flat Earth measurements Katy Perry gave us are anything other than what they are. Measurements off a flat surface level as dictated by the reporting that we read out. They all know it's measured flat. It has to be. It can't be measured any other way. We know it. And there's no response. But we'd like to thank Katy Perry for, offering up her flat Earth measurements. Like we thank Toon. Like we'll thank Jaren if he comes to us as a ball-believing numpty and tells us that he can prove Earth's a ball with a measurement of some description, because if he does, that measurement will be of a flat Earth, just like Katy Perry's and McToon's and anybody else who measures Earth, because it's always measured flat and there is no response to that. And if there was, I'd be getting it now. I'm not. I'm just in the presence of coward globe believers, like formerly like buff guys that were like commented on for how brave they were, given maybe badges and medals. Who knows? But these cowering utter tards sit while I point out how Earth is measured flat and say nothing now. That's their position in life now. It must be crap. These people probably lose sleep over these facts. Me, I don't care. Half the time I can't remember their names. But I know it's measured
Nathan,
flat.
If you showed up to a gunfight, right, and the first thing that happened is you got disarmed and they took your gun from you, would you feel good about yourself?
Good analogy. I'll ask Omni. Metaphorically, I know you cowered on the mute button about 5 minutes ago when we started talking about how Earth was measured flat with your example. But if you are still there, I don't know, maybe you've run away completely like a total coward. You can answer us. If metaphorically you were to come to a gunfight, and the gunfight would be flat Earth versus globe Earth, and the guns would be the evidence that we present here. And in the first 5 seconds of you standing in that gunfight, you hand over both your gun and bullets, and I shoot you with them in the face while your commanding officer's watching. Do you think he'd pat you on the back for being a really brave soldier? Because I'm standing metaphorically over your bleeding corpse, Omni, you utter coward. And I'm laughing at you, Omni. Do you remember when you told me about how you were brave? Do you remember? Now you're standing bleeding. Your face is opened up like a cave, and you're a former authority, the officer that was in charge of you and told you were brave. He's shaking his head. Don't give up your gun. Don't give up flat Earth measurements and hand them over to your opponent so he can shoot you with them metaphorically, Omni, in the face. That makes you an embarrassment of your former self. Do you understand me, soldier?
That's not fair. No, that's not fair. They all measure it flat. He can't be.
He's just another corpse. Just another corpse. Nobody really gave a toss about you when they gave you the medals. You were just another corpse in the wings waiting to be killed, Omni. Did you not know that when they told you were brave? Just cannon fodder for me. Yeah, just another one of my bullets in the 6-shooter that you handed me. Cowboy. And now you got a flat earther named like Nathan Oakley laughing at you. Like right in your face. Right in your dead cavity of a face that you had shot open. With those flat earth bullets you handed me in the form of earth measurements. Didn't you want to talk about Katy Perry? You seem to have gone very cowardly quiet there, Omni. Oh, maybe he'll come back. Maybe he was doing his taxes.
No backup soldiers. No. Nobody got your back. You don't got a squad, don't you?
What could they do?
Nothing but shake their heads. Shake their heads. Come on, soldier. What does Reese say? Moreover, what is it that Ripley says to Reese? Come on, soldier, you can do it! Get up, soldier! No, he's not. He's dead. He's out. He's gone. No more. The suggestion that there might be a globe to fight for is long dead. Died. Grave's been laid.
That's what the backup soldiers say. Game over, man. It's
Game over, man.
They're everywhere, man.
They're everywhere, man. Even my own side, man. Flat Earth proof is everywhere, man. But did we want to talk about the bubble sextant for a bit more? Talk about perpendicular, maybe? No. Just me picking up the corpse's hand and letting it go. It's just going onto the asphalt. Oh no, this guy's taken the roadside temperature challenge, it seems. Got nothing left in him. Bummer. Oh well, we'll make our conclusions. It's not normally the case that these fundy zealots on the globe side would allow us to make an unimpeded conclusion about Earth being measured flat by their own evidence that they give us here daily. But in this case, there's nothing but cowards amongst us. Cowards that would be a disappointment to their former brave selves.
That might be going too far with it. Just a little bit.
They're everywhere, man. Game over, man.
Well, no, I mean, no one else will do any better than Omni just did. No one can. It's just how it is. I at least appreciate the fact that he would speak up, even if I think he's annoying and at times I want to choke him. At least he's here.
Yeah, man, we got snacks in the back, refreshments and all that, so enjoy. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Not to say it wasn't funny for a little bit, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pull
I
that thread for
really-
too long. Don't lean into your bravery and tell me about how you've got medals of honor and you're all full of valor, and then go quiet when I point out Earth's measured flat. I ain't gonna get you any brave pills. You know, you're not gonna get any awards for bravery when that happens, right? You'll just get called a coward. Don't lean into how brave you are. If you want to suggest that, it's never gonna get forgotten by me. And I will pull that thread when necessary. Like when I win. What's that? Earth measured flat with heights off surface level, parallel eye level, perpendicular, axiomatically linked, says you. Yeah, I'm going to rub those right in your face. Yeah? 10 years of you telling me I'm a dumbass globe-believing denier. No, I'm not going to be those things. I'm not going to be a flat earth believer either, which is what they want me to be. No, what I will be is somebody who's absolutely slapping you idiots about with your globe faith while you tell me how brave you are when you lose. And me not forgetting about it, I'll just keep labouring that point every single time Omni's here. Because he's presumably here for a reason, and he lent into his bravery because he's obviously had those brave pills on that day when he lost. I'm not going to forget what an abject coward this man is. And that's a fact. That's what he is here. In my presence, you're a coward, Omni. Don't you damn well forget it, boy. You hear me, boy? Yeah, I'm that drill sergeant now.
I do hear you, but I have a question. I'm very curious. I heard that Arwen is a Pac-Man flat earther who believes that you teleport from one side of the map to the other. Is that true, Arwen?
That's almost like believing
answer.
that.
Why are you bringing up
Arwen?
Arwen? And if he's here, he should.
Because he asked me
Dude.
in chat if there was something I wanted
Do
to
what
say
he
on the
wants.
mic, and I'm curious.
Feel free.
Yeah, you're
We
dumb.
don't talk to wankers.
Are you a Pac-Man?
Wasn't Adam very
It's a really dumb description. And I've addressed all of those things, but I know you're really good at regurgitating the same stupid inquiry over and over again for a decade. So I'm not going to dignify that really stupid question with a response.
Okay, so that's
Hey,
a
I'm the
yes.
boss.
I
Take a
got it.
freaking
No,
walk.
it's a
I'm
no,
the boss.
How have you
dumbass.
figured out? How have you
It's
figured
a
out?
fucking no, idiot.
No swearing, please.
I think you're a Pac-Man earther, and now you're just.
Yeah, I
you're
don't
just
think
afraid.
you have the faculties to judge
Okay,
anybody
okay,
about anything.
all right.
You're a retard.
Put him on mute, please.
Okay.
You're very slick, I'm the boss.
I was
I'll give
curious.
you that,
I
you
was
little
just
prick.
curious.
No need, Neil. Just chill.
I heard that Nathan was arguing against the ice wall this morning, or for the ice wall. Did you have a point of view on the ice wall, Nathan?
Do I have a
This
view
is
on what ice
sad,
wall? What are you
omnivore.
claiming there's an ice wall
The
now?
ice
Omni?
wall that surrounds the flat Earth to
Prove
hold
it.
the water in.
Prove it. That's your claim
Oh,
now.
so it's flat?
Prove it.
Oh.
I understand there's an ice wall. Are you?
Well, prove
are you
it. If you
telling me that
understand it, prove it.
This
Third
morning,
time.
did you
Third
argue
time.
for
Now he's
or
ignoring
against
me.
the ice wall?
Coward. Third time.
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
Coward.
Did you?
Coward.
Okay,
Coward.
see, yeah,
Coward.
okay, you-
Coward. Third time. You're going to let me say it a third time? Is this
Okay.
you winning? Is this your coward tactic?
Okay. All
Third
right.
time?
All right. I didn't mean to trigger you. I just wanted to know if you were, if you had an opinion on the ice wall.
Prove your ice wall.
I wanted to know if you had an
Stuttery
opinion on the
coward.
ice wall.
Sorry, I didn't suggest there was one. You did. Those were your words. Ice wall.
okay,
End
so-
quote.
so-
You
so
coward.
when you were
Coward. Still
talking-
talking.
when you were
Coward.
talking in
Still
the
talking.
other-
Is this you winning, coward? Would your drill sergeant be proud of you yammering through me like a belligerent coward?
Morning.
Yeah, coward.
When you were talking,
Coward. It's
Okay.
your ice wall. You
I
claimed
guess
it.
you- okay.
Coward.
All right.
Your
Keep
ice
interrupting
wall.
me.
You claimed it. There's that stony silence, coward bitch. You are the only one saying ice wall. So you prove your ice wall. Is this the end? Another stony silence with a coward cowering on his mute? Hello, coward! Yeah, that's right. We'll get back to me taking the piss out of you. That's right, boy. It's your drill sergeant talking to you, boy. Get out of bed, boy. Get your boots on, boy. Do you hear me, boy? That's you, my bitch, omnivore. You belligerent little child. You cowardly little former shadow of yourself. I thought you were brave, end quote, you. Brave, you say? No, boy. You're a pathetic little man, a coward. Oh, same old. End of the conversation because the coward's got nothing in response. Okay, we'll go on to the conclusion. Earth's measured flat, omnivore. As is always the case, trying to drag some third party into the discussions about ice walls that you're claiming and can't justify. Oh, did you need to burn it as a straw man that I'd claimed? Because a moment ago you'd suggested that maybe you were misunderstanding whether or not I took the pro or con position with regards to an ice wall. Oh, your drill sergeant would be disappointed in how retarded you couldn't keep up with a very clear discussion in regards to people's positions on such topics, omnivore. Obviously, your age has meant you've withered mentally and couldn't keep up with the position that I'd taken, and clearly needed to clarify at the beginning of this position, unless I'm mistaken and you needed to burn a straw man. This is your drill sergeant whipping you into shape there, omnivore, coward. You may respond, boy. Just the stony silence there, boy. Yeah. You are a coward, omnivore. You don't have anything to offer us here. Your former self isn't something you can suggest in response like you did previously. Yeah? You might have been brave once. Now you are a pathetic little man. Being told off by a flat earther.
Let me know if there's ever a point where I could actually say something without being interrupted. Just, let me know. I'll.
You realize how many
I'll be
times
happy
you
to
had,
hear you.
how many chances?
I'd be happy to say stuff, but let me know when the time is right for that.
So you can lay more incorrectly described claims at our feet and laugh about it, about your straw man claims about what we believe, you moron. No.
What happens if you eat the power pill, Arwen? What happens then?
What
fuck are you doing here
happens when
anyway?
you're allowed to.
No swearing.
He just wants to talk about when he's allowed to talk or not. That's what this topic's about now.
Well, I'm willing to talk if I'm not going to be constantly interrupted.
Yes, second time you've said that uninterrupted.
But I know how Nathan works.
Yeah, you're the one that does all the interrupting. Do you listen to yourself? And stop bringing people in a conversation to antagonize shit, you little bitch.
No worries. So we've had a suggestion from Omnivore that there's an ice wall. Can you back your ice wall, Omnivore?
I can't hear Omnivore from all the interruption.
No, it seems that Omnivore is completely uninterrupted, and perhaps now I'm speaking after the 10 straight seconds of unimpeded air that was left dead. Dead being the appropriate word, I would say. By this coward that seems to now be talking through me. It seems he's projecting his inability to have a decent conversation. It seems that he's talking through his drill sergeant. Belligerence is the order of the day from this cuck coward who's now talking through me. Would it be that you're needing to project your failures there, coward? Is it only when I'm talking there, boy? You may respond.
So, just so everybody's clear on this, flat earthers believe that there, in general, that there is an ice wall because most of them hold to the AE map. And I thought it was my turn.
You used a stereotyping fallacy, you dumb shit.
I'm not saying I'm
stuttering much. Yeah, you are. You sentence fragment using stuttering bitch who used a stereotyping fallacy and it was pointed out to you. Do you feel you need to keep yammering through me, boy? Your drill sergeant's addressing your dumbass fallacy. It was pointed out by Chocolate and you couldn't shut your stupid chops. Could you, coward? Now your drill sergeant's telling you off, boy.
Let me know when you've got yourself under control.
Stereotyping fallacy, boy! Do you hear me, boy? Do you hear me, Omnivore? You retard coward. Your drill sergeant's addressing you. Seems the coward's deserted us, men. He's run away. Do you need another 10 seconds of uninterrupted air there, Omnivore, or is it only when I'm talking? Try not to address me in the middle of me talking there, boy. Get your boots on, get out of bed, and address me when I address you. Do you understand now, Omnivore, that you used a stereotyping fallacy?
I mean, if the Flat Earth app that shows the ice wall isn't embarrassing the Flat Earth, I don't know what is. But like I said, just so that we're all clear, the only map that gets you anywhere close to explaining the Flat Earth is the AE map. You have to have circumnavigation. You have to have ground positions, in the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, where we know, for example, the sun is at any given day of the year. And, you also have to have the general layout of the continents where everybody knows they are, like where all the national borders are and everything. And you have to have Polaris over the North Pole. So once you put all of that down on paper, the stuff that I think we all agree on, unless you're going to go with Arwen and do the Pac-Man thing, then what you've got to have is something that looks almost identical to the Pac-Man, to the AE map. Now, okay.
Can we shut him up?
Well, yeah, that was a little bit too much because we've gotten away from measurement now. We're no longer dealing with measurements. We're trying to give an explanation for what is. That's fallacious in and of itself. You don't explain what is.
Sure.
You describe it.
And why are you talking about a map?
Where Omni has suggested that we and you in his words, so quote you and quote we by him. No, those aren't us, those are you that are suggesting that your flat earth map is the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection. That'll be yours because you're the one saying this. You're the one making the assertions. Unless you have to be disciplined again by your drill sergeant, that'd be me yelling at you for being a dumb fuck, for using a stereotype fallacy when you tell us what we and you will be doing. No, we won't, boy. No, we won't. But you have just done those things. So either one of two things is occurring. Either dickhead, belligerent coward, is using the same stereotyping fallacy that he got all huffy about chocolate pointing out. Yeah, dumb fuck. Same stereotyping fallacy much. Or maybe they're your maps that you will now be defending. So which is it? Do you understand the question, boy? No, the coward shut down and Elvis is talking instead. It seems coward omnivore, former shadow of his brave self, has shut down completely in the face of a simple question. Is it a stereotyping fallacy when you say, quote, we, and you say, quote, you? Or is it your dumb fuck globe that you're going to have to justify by stereotype model that you'll be using when you use those words? Not to stereotype us, but we would be you, omnivore, and your azimuthal equidistant globe projection that you will be justifying because you're the only one saying it. Which is it? Second time I've asked this coward cuck. Former brave soul, now just a former shadow of himself and a total coward who can't answer the simple rendition of the second time around asking him. Which is it? Stereotype fallacy or your azimuthal equidistant projection, omnivore? Second time asking. Coward. 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 Omnivore's a coward. Do you want to tell me that you don't get enough in uninterrupted air? There's a good 5 seconds of uninterrupted air there, Omnivore, that you didn't respond in. You total coward. Shut down completely, eh?
I'm offering to I'll explain it to you now if you're ready.
Is it a stereotyping fallacy or your map?
Are you ready? I'll explain why it's not a stereotyping fallacy, okay? So, but you'll have to let me talk a little bit, okay? So, you might want to...
So it's your map then. Justify your azimuthal map then. If it's not a stereotype, it's your map.
You might want to grab...
You might want to stutter while I point out it's your map then. So you better justify this as your map.
Oh, okay. So you can't.
You can't stutter while I point out that if it's not a stereotype fallacy, then the only other choice on the table is that it's your map you'll be justifying as your claim.
Okay. So I'm gonna assume that you're ready. Now, we both agree that the Polaris star is over the North Pole, right? And we both agree that there is an area that is described as the equator, roughly a few thousand miles south of that. That
Is that rhetorical?
circumnavigates
Is this rhetorical?
that landmass. No, this is a point. This is a.
I
this
don't
is
agree.
Something that we.
Well, then you're a
both,
liar.
I think.
Then you're a liar, coward. You're just going to lie about me,
I'm not
bitch?
lying.
You're just going to lie?
Okay,
I don't
so
agree.
Now you're interrupting me. Now you're
I don't
chanting
agree.
through me. Nathan,
You said we
you're
agree.
chanting through
We
me.
don't.
Okay.
You're going to keep lying.
I got it.
You're a disgrace to your platoon. You're a liar, and I'm calling you out on it. You won't shut up. No, we don't agree about what you asserted about Polaris's position above its position above the North Pole. No, I don't agree. I have not been there to confirm that, and I doubt you have either.
But above is with respect to a horizontal plane. That's
Boom!
talking about 90 degrees to the surface with this description of Polaris. Do you want to rescind that?
All right. So we have a few points of agreement. All right.
No, we've got a point of disagreement.
And like I said,
no, we don't. No, we do not. No, we don't. We've only got one point of disagreement. Now he's lying. He's a disgrace to his platoon and a coward. Disgrace to his platoon.
And
what's your platoon name so I can disgrace you?
Like
what's your platoon name? You're a disgrace, man. You're a disgrace.
All right, you're triggered again.
You're a disgrace to your platoon. No, we don't have agreement. We have disagreement. Your cowardly nature is to ignore those facts, boy. You wouldn't be good in battle. You'd ignore the gunfire. No, we don't have an agreement, you utter coward and disgrace to your platoon. We have a disagreement. Did you not understand it?
So which one of those do you disagree with?
We have a disagreement about the position of Polaris. I've already pointed out this is the second time.
So you don't agree
John
that
has
Polaris,
and now he's thinking he's winning by interrupting us only when I'm talking. Did you not request unimpeded air? And yet you interrupt me. Coward. You're a disgrace to your platoon. Every man who was honourable in your platoon would be ashamed of you. Do you understand what I've just said to you? You understand, boy? It's Drill Sergeant Oakley talking to you. Do you understand, boy? You need to respond in the affirmative. I'm laughing at you, you blatant coward. Don't have perpendicular. You don't have parallel. You don't have up to describe Polaris from. You hearing me, boy? It's Drill Sergeant Oakley talking to you, omnivore. Yeah, there's nothing you can do here, Omni. The only thing you can do is shut down.
Are you ready to let me actually make my case?
What, stutter?
Is that going to be too much for you?
Don't have up on a ball. Do you want to respond to what John just said to you, or do you need him to repeat it? That's a question, not rhetorical.
He can go ahead and repeat it.
Go ahead, John.
Above is with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. If you're describing this in a Cartesian coordinate system, up and down in a circle around you 180 degrees, that's 90 to the surface. Do you want to rescind your claim about Polaris?
Okay, so what's your question? Your question is, do I want to rescind my claim about Polaris? No, why would I? So, are you,
okay, no worries.
Are you familiar with Star Trails?
No, that's okay. You don't have to. No, that's fine, John. Stop. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Are you familiar with Star Trails?
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Are you familiar with Star Trails, John?
Are you familiar with us welcoming you to Flat Earth for utilising a principle that's tied? I am a coward. Yeah, you are.
All you do is say that, yes, welcome to Flat Earth, because you don't have an argument. So,
no, my argument was put to you by John. When you use Flat Earth prerequisites, you will be welcome to Flat Earth, omnivore. You don't want to rescind being above the Flat Earth. You don't have to. You just get welcome to Flat Earth. You didn't rescind it. Now you're just chanting through me in defeat. Yeah, like the coward that you are, you can chant through me in defeat when I point out how you've lost. Yeah, that's also as good as a win.
Let me know
to
when
a coward,
I can talk to John.
This is as good as a win. Him appealing to not talking through me. Yeah, what a coward. Total projection. Yeah, that's right. You can still hear Omni while I'm pointing out his loss. That's right. You can still hear the coward as well. Maybe he'll tell the audience how he's being wronged. Right, coward? This is all I can do, right, coward? What, win? Point out that when you use a Flat Earth prerequisite, you'll be welcome to Flat Earth, and your response is to tell me I haven't got an argument and then talk through me?
All right, good. So, do you know what a ground position is, John? Serious question. Do you understand what a GP is?
Can you stop asking questions and respond to the statement that John made? Because it seems like you responded to why
I am responding to this.
Hold on, Omnivore, hold on. You responded to his question to you is, will you rescind your statement? But you didn't respond to the first part, which is what he told you why you need to rescind your statement, because above is in reference to a horizontal plane. Why don't you respond to that?
He's wrong about that. He's wrong about that.
Question.
He's
wrong about that. So why don't you respond to that and tell him he's wrong? Tell him how he's wrong about it, please. We're all listening.
Right. That's what I'm doing. I'm asking if he knows what a ground position is.
No, asking isn't doing that. That's asking.
You don't even
something.
know what he said.
No, he's a liar. Not only is he a coward, he needs to lie about what he's doing. Asking a new question to take control of the discussion isn't.
I need to know what your level
and now
of
his
education
belligerence
is
has
in
led him
these
to
things.
chant through me pointing out how badly he's lost. No, you're not explaining anything if you're asking something.
All right, so a ground position is where you need to be standing to look straight up, 90 degrees up, and you would see the star directly over your
There's
head.
that word again, up.
Yes, up. Yes, you would look up.
Yeah, up, above. That goes back to what John told you.
Yes.
Those are with respect to a horizontal plane. So again, why is he
so
wrong
if he
about
just
that?
interrupts you, Chocolate, maybe the devastating fact that he's tried to hurdle over won't get repeated again because he's saying so through the top of it. Maybe an audience won't get to hear it because Omni's being his usual belligerent, cowardly self and chanting through the top of your summary that he's tried to overcome with John by asking a new question. No, he said he'd explain how non-rescindment of his claim that needs a flat earth prerequisite is just going to get him welcome to flat earth. So if you haven't got anything to respond to that beyond more questions, Omni, welcome to flat earth.
So when we take long exposure pictures of star trails,
non sequitur.
It's not a non sequitur. We see them moving in.
You've been welcome to flat Earth. So
moving in a very, very tight
You've been welcome to flat Earth, and you haven't acknowledged it. This is a change of subject. Coward, changing the subject. So let's calmly put that line on mute while I point out to the audience. He's been welcome to flat Earth. There's been a stony silence. Now he's talking about star trail photography. Absolutely sod all to do with the measurement and description of Polaris over a flat plane that he must accept by prerequisite. He hasn't responded to that. He's now opening a new line of discussion. So you've lost, you abject coward. You obviously can't cope with that.
No, I'm just trying to explain it to get more than like 5 words out before you get triggered and spurg out. But if you're able to hold your tongue, and I can talk to John.
No worries. I'll hold my tongue if you don't use a flat
out.
Earth evidence, and then I won't say a word. If you do, I'll interrupt immediately. Go ahead.
All right. So, John, do you know what the definition of a ground position is? Yes or no? Simple question. You can answer? No. Okay. A ground position is where you'd be standing to look straight up and see the star. Now, I realize that you think that up is necessarily a flat Earth
trying to
word.
speak,
That's
but
actually
for
not.
some reason, can't hear his mic.
I can't hear his mic.
Yeah, I can't
something wrong
either.
with your mic, John. Just getting a fuzzy sound. That's a familiar sound. When I get a broken microphone, that is what it sounds like. You're like talking to the camera with a broken mic attached to it, and you don't know it's broken yet because you haven't listened back to the recording. And you're saying something interesting, like, "This is a great mic. I can't believe how wonderful it sounds." Preemptively hoping that it's going to sound great.
Oh, God. Is this better?
Yes.
Yep, you're back.
All right.
Yes.
So
he asked me what a ground position was. I said it was 90 degrees below the star.
Okay. So where I would, another way of saying it is where I would be standing.
Don't say okay to me and carry on like you didn't use the point of reference to form your nine.
It seems like, let's just close the Discord line because now John's talking, Omnivore's incessantly interrupting, even though he just literally 2 minutes ago charged me preemptively with doing that. He's now doing that to John. Yeah, what a coward. You go ahead, John. We'll see if we can stop the coward from doing that to you again. We'll hope for the best, but he's a coward, so we can't control him.
So I'm explaining for the audience.
No, immediately the coward's talking. The coward's taken over immediately.
I'm going to try to finish my statement.
Going to try and take control of the conversation. Yeah, John's stopping you. No, we'll just close that line. Go ahead, John. The belligerence can't be overcome. He's not engaged in a conversation anymore, even though he moaned that you would be doing that with him. He's now decided to completely shut down. Go ahead.
Right.
So
the
looking up
reason
vertically
I stopped him is the
will give you
90
that star
degrees
right over your
he's
head
talking about
at a
is not
particular
with
date
respect
and
to a
time. That's
curve.
what the
You're
GP
muted.
of...
Can you just relax?
Oh, am I going to get a chance to talk or no, Amir?
When I've introduced
talk
John
over
3
John.
times and told you to shut up 3 times, I think that's the perfect opportunity
Yeah,
for you to
I
waffle through.
would-
Maybe
I
talk
thought I was
now.
gonna get a
Maybe
chance to
while
go
I'm
back and
talking.
forth
Maybe
with
moan
John.
that you're getting talked through. Now, what I'm going to do is ask you for a 4th time to not be a coward, to not be a disgrace to your platoon by blathering in defeat of the point that defeats you. Because that's not a win. That's like the behaviour of a coward, as I keep pointing out to you. So if you don't mind, coward, can you stop flapping your gums through John's 5th attempt to point out where you've dodged your defeat? We'll see if John will be the next person to talk, or if the coward open his gums for the 6th time. We'll see what happens. Go ahead, John.
Well, I'm happy to talk.
Total coward. What a shock. Got to close the Discord line. I got no option. This belligerent coward will not tolerate his defeat being aired. What a coward. Keep it up, coward.
So, John.
So maybe keep asking questions. Take control of the mic. Maybe if you ask a question, you'll get this control back.
Well, I'm trying to explain.
Trying to get control of this situation, yeah, we know, by non-stop flapping your gums when I've invited John to repeat your defeat for the 7th time, Omnivore.
Okay.
You complete coward.
Okay. All right. Well, John.
Well, we just need you to shut up. We just need you to shut up. I don't mind counting off the times that you don't, though, because it really, really highlights just how pathetic and cowardly you are every time you do it. It's the 8th time currently, Omni. But you carry on. I'll invite John to talk again and we'll wait for you to talk. Go ahead, John.
I think he dropped. I think he's having issues.
Oh, fair enough.
Yep. That was great.
You don't have
That
up
was
on a
good,
globe.
Nathan.
You didn't address John's point. You bought the clock. You
went-
ran the clock long enough
Yes.
for it to cause problems where John dropped. So he ran down the clock. That's what you were successful in doing.
No.
Yeah, you ran down the clock. Yeah, well done.
John is making the assertion that if you want to use 90 degrees, you have...
John isn't here anymore, but you managed to run down the clock long enough for John to not be able to interact with you at all. So you can have a one-way discussion with John while he isn't here, after running the clock down with non-stop obfuscation and talking through everyone. Well done, coward. You can laugh because you can perceive this as a victory, can't you?
Oh, I think it's a total victory.
Yeah. Running down the clock till John leaves doesn't make any difference that you don't have up on a globe. You don't have 90 degrees to anything for a ground position.
It turns out we have all of that.
On a flat Earth, yeah.
Welcome to flat Earth.
On a globe. All you need is plumb. Oakley.
Don't have plumb on a globe. You don't have plumb 90 degrees to anything perpendicular to a plane. A plumb is vertical. On a globe, you only have out.
No. So, Surf
So you
Daddy
don't have plumb
explained
on
this to
a
you.
globe, but you don't have a globe without flat Earth. So sorry for you.
The globe you're imagining
that's where-
comes from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris in the first instance. So you don't have your globe, as Chocolate's pointing out to you, unless you've got a flat Earth to measure to create the globe to infer that plumb is useful enough. You need a flat Earth to get that globe that you're inferring. You want to deal with that?
You don't.
So every time you say globe, you're proving flat Earth because that's where the globe came from. So thanks.
That's
Thanks in
okay.
the
That's
back.
not true, but I
Where'd you get
know
radius?
you believe that.
Where'd you get radius measurement?
I know you believe it. So
right, okay. Aristophanes gives you radius measurement, doesn't he?
Where
Aristophanes, coward!
I know you're upset.
So measurement of a flat Earth is what we need for radius. This coward doesn't address it. I'll summarise my win. You need, like Chocolate just pointed out, a flat Earth to be measured. I've given an example. Aristophanes.
Maybe do some stem self-soothing.
Sorry, stem self-soothing.
Am I helping?
Am I stuttering? Aristophanes, Mr. Stem self-soothing, measured Earth flat.
I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, I know. Chocolate knows. But what you've got is absolutely nothing but to infer a globe that required a flat Earth measurement. I've demonstrated it verbally, and Chocolate inferred it 3 times.
Show me a citation for this claim.
Eratosthenes?
Show me a citation.
Yeah, no worries. Cyan and Alexandria are the claimed locations for the measurement in the rhetoric that took elevation angle measurements off a flat surface. Done.
I feel certain you could show a citation for this.
Right? A citation for the Eratosthenes angle measurement in Alexandria and Cyan? You need me to go and cite the... Are you denying that they measured a flat Earth? Maybe you could just interrupt me. Maybe this is interruption number 4 in this sentence alone. You abject coward. I'm pretty sure that we've measured a flat Earth for thousands of years, and that even a globe-believing fuckwit like yourself understands implicitly that Eratosthenes is measuring elevation angles with wells in Cyan, and Alexandria with a pole and a shadow on a flat Earth. I could go and cite it if you like, you abject fuckwit retard, but I'm pretty sure we all know implicitly just how Earth is measured flat, to infer that we can derive a radius value from these elevation angle measurements of a flat Earth. I can go and get your own fuckwit citations if you like, but there would be me providing your evidence for your story in your back catalogue of garbage that measures Earth flat. For your inferred ball that you were appealing to when Chocolate piped up and said, no, you'll need a flat Earth to measure for your globe. I asked you where you measured our values and you started rumpusing me, you abject coward. Now we're at the nitty-gritty and it's on screen for my audience, in the form of Al-Biruni's measurement of a flat surface level and parallel eye level. And that would be a flat Earth measurement, omnivore, for you to infer the sphericity also on this diagram. What say you, coward?
So
absolutely nothing!
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I'll do it again. You thought I was done, what, crapping on your assertions that the globe that you were using in your examples had anything other than what Chocolate had directly told you needs a flat Earth to be measured. It's on screen now in the form of Al-Biruni. You asked me for citation when it came to Eratosthenes' measurement in Cyan and Alexandria, according to your own rhetoric. You wanted me to cite. And now we're on to Al-Biruni with a diagrammatical example that you're now talking through. It's got surface level on the diagrammatical example. Do you want me to post it for you, you fuckwit? That would be your claimed measurement for your ball radius in the form of your story from Al-Biruni. On screen for my audience now, it's labelled surface level. Oh, and what do you know? This is Alexandria and Cyan. On screen for my audience also, just in case Omnivore's appeal for me to cite his requirement for a flat Earth measurement to get radius that he didn't give us. I'm doing it for him, giving you the flat Earth origins for that globe that you're appealing to that you haven't seemed to overcome yet, Omni. You may respond.
All right. Are you sitting down now, Nathan?
That was a fantastic rebuttal. Yes, I'm absolutely sitting down, taking a giant steaming dump on your assertion that you've got a globe to appeal to when the claimed radial value measurements are on screen with a flat Earth measurement of Alexandria and Cyan in the form of a shadow off a flat Earth. Yeah, I'm done taking a shit on your nonsense globe belief, Omnivore. A giant steaming dump. Yeah, I'm done. I'm sitting down taking a dump on you right now. Was that your response? Excellent rebuttal.
All right, I will take my victory and I will go to somewhere that they won't constantly interrupt me. All right, but yes, it's nice to see you guys collapse under the...
Nice to see Alexandria and Cyan being measured flat to give you a radius value. Maybe you can take your victory somewhere else where you don't get interrupted with a flat Earth measurement of Alexandria and Cyan that you asked me to cite. It's on screen for my audience. It's what you asked for. You're going to take your leave after getting what you asked for? My God, you coward. He just ran. What a bitch. When we get to the flat Earth measurements that he asked for being on screen exactly as he asked for, he ran. Yes, because we're measuring Earth flat for him to infer a ball. Like Chocolate said. Apparently that wasn't a rebuttal that you used, Chocolate, there. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it resulted in him leaving like a coward.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to create a victim.
Well, that was fun.
Yep.
He deserted us. He's AOL. He's America Online.
I think you meant AWOL.
Absent without leave? No. I meant he's America Online. What are you talking about? AWOL? What does that mean?
Oh my. I think that's absent without official leave.
Absent without leave?
Without official leave.
Absent without official leave. AWOL. Yeah, I've seen that movie. Right, we all pooped out for today. There is no Quantum Eraser Live to plug, unfortunately. He's got other things on his plate. Any other pressing matters before I round out? If not, I am going to round out. No, fair enough. With that, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus Panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.